The Trackmania Season Country Championships. I am your host, Zapdos, but it's not just me here. I have a beautiful cast with me. If you'd care to introduce yourself, Formal.
Yeah, I was here yesterday. My name's Formal. I'm the one who insulted all of you. Let's get into it.
So you come into the Trackmania scene, casting for us, right? And you've come to insult us.
No, I didn't come to insult you, but it just so happened that things kind of fell and landed where they were. I don't know. I may have accidentally included all of the United Kingdom under England. I may have accused Canada of not being able to make proper ice to train correctly. It's just little things like this that apparently people take offense to. I don't know why.
Well, I am English and I can take a thing called banter or a joke. But I want to get on to what happened yesterday. Would you care to say about how the games were?
Yeah, no, yesterday, I wish I could say it was a big shock, big surprises from what we've seen on stream, but at the end of the day, it was kind of the favorites coming out on top. As mentioned before, Canada, they struggled on those ice tracks, and they slipped and slided their way out of that top 16, losing to this English side, which looked quite dominant. And then we had the Czech squad taking on Germany. Germany, they looked practiced, they looked poised, frequently finishing within 2/10 of each other, and they made quick work of that Czech side. So those were sort of our two streamed matches. We started with 16 teams yesterday. Today, we're down to the final four. It's going to be semifinals and then our grand final right after.
I am so excited for this. So the game we will be watching today is England versus Denmark. Of course, being English myself, I will represent them. But the key factor in this game is both teams have not lost yet. They haven't lost a round yet. So we'll really have to see which team will take the first loss here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see for sure which one might slip up. I don't want to feed into your bias at all because I know it's going to be insufferable very, very shortly. But when I saw that English team yesterday, I left very, very impressed. I mean, they felt consistent. They were very, I think, apt at picking the right sort of tracks for themselves, and I think their draft phase really did play into their strength. And of course, Bozbez played amazing, was arguably the most consistent member on that side, next to probably Davinjo. Like, the two of them really felt in form. I know Roy had a couple off tracks, but if Roy starts playing well as well today, then I think they're going to be a very formidable side.
The thing is, with the England side, they have been playing so long together. They've had so many different, championships, different TSCCs to get into this. They played in the TSCC Spring 2021. They came 18th to 20th. They have Summer 2021, where they came 4th, and Fall of 2021, they're 3rd or 4th. So this would be their best position yet. They're able to win this match here.
Yeah, it would be, I think, an exciting moment for them. But this Denmark side, who they're going to be up against, definitely nothing to scoff at as well. They finished 4th as well back in spring 2021. That's been their best result thus far. And when you look at this lineup, names like Solvigan as well as Jake Ray, I mean, they're a very strong team. And if anyone is going to upset this English squad, outside of, again, maybe it's that stream bias, I kind of like that German team as well. But I feel like Denmark has a really good chance to kind of push their way through as well.
They definitely can do that. Now, with Denmark, they are very, very much enjoying this, ranked gameplay so far. These are some of the highest ranked players we've seen so far. They're definitely grinding their way to, try and win this here.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, the results do speak to that as well. As mentioned before, 4th back in spring last year. It was only 7th in summer. And if you go into fall, it was 9th to 16th, which is kind of being knocked out right before that quarterfinal. So they haven't really had that initial strong result from when this team first came together. However, this is already looking like a good run for them. They're back in their top 4. So they're also kind of playing for that best result we've seen yet from them, which is why this matchup is going to be so interesting when we get into it. It should be worth noting this game that's happening off stream right now, as mentioned before, it's Germany versus France. The winner of that will be going on to the grand final against the winner of this match. So those are our final 4 teams. We might see France, we might not. It depends if they can beat Germany. It would be really unfortunate for a team to make top 4 and not get on stream.
Yeah, definitely. It would be sad to see. But one of them will win, so we will definitely see them into the next one. Germany or France? Do you have a favorite?
I mean, again, I'm going back with what it's the known versus the unknown for me, right? Like, I'm still new to this. I've already been called the guy who casts, the practices, and yeah, I'll own that. I'm proud of it. It was an exciting practice. Shut up. But no, definitely, I feel like that German squad, they were just so in sync with each other. Again, I was super impressed with how they were always able to stay so tight. And then when you looked at that Czech side with how well Elkon was playing and was winning stage after stage, yet somehow the German team was still able to overcome that. I feel like if you can survive Elkon in the form that they were in, it's going to be tough to take this German side down.
Now, Elkon is known for one major thing, and that's his ice gameplay.
We didn't get any ice, unfortunately, in that series. I know. I was sad. But it didn't matter because Elkon was still winning every single round. Like it was a bit ridiculous, and I feel bad for Elkon because I don't want to name names for who held him back. So just look up that roster and everyone else on that team for that day. No, I joke. But yeah, and when Elkon was winning every single round, it really is unfortunate that we don't get to see him here again today.
That is the issue with having to play with players that are in the same region as you, the same country as you. So we'll have to see if these teams will get held back by the rest of their players, but I do not think so. All these players that we see on both Denmark and England look very scary, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, these are 2 stacked lineups. We already kind of touched on some of those names already before coming into this. So will be interesting to see what happens when we do get into our pick and ban phase. Now, as with yesterday, it is going to be, each side makes a pick, a couple of bans, and then 5 random maps potentially. 5 instead of 3 because it's best of 7 in this semifinal. Now, all the maps from the campaign are included except for maps 1 through 4 as well as map 17, not included. So you have a nice pool of about 20 of them. If my math is correct, 5 minus 25 is negative 20. So yeah, that's close enough. And it should be a pretty good match.
You know what? Maybe you have a bit better maths than we have here in England. I definitely wouldn't have got that one correct.
Well, the fact that I somehow went into the negatives means I did something off. I'm not sure what it was there, but yeah, it's going to be good. I'm really curious to see what sort of, again, which tracks they opt to as sort of that priority pick right now. Because when you look at this English side, I'm trying to remember what they chose last time. I believe they were the team that chose map 7, if I'm not mistaken, which was a little bit of a surprise to me because it didn't really on paper look like one of their strongest tracks, but then they absolutely rolled on it. So I'll be curious to see if they go back to that again or if it gets banned away this time.
Yes, we will definitely have to see that. We are almost getting ready for the pick and bans. We should have around about 5 minutes, I would say, until we get started here.
Yeah, we should be on our way very shortly. But look, I think we've done a lot of, trying to hype this up. You asked my predictions. I need to know yours, man. Where are you thinking this? Yeah.
What, between England and Denmark or Germany and France?
No, I don't care about that. We all know what you're going to say. Let's move on. Who's winning that other match? France versus Germany.
Oh, it's hard to say. It really is hard to say because either team could definitely win it. But because you went Germany, a lot of my friends are going to kill me, but I will go for France. I believe France will take this. But that's you have to remember, with both teams.
Do you know what you just did?
What did I do?
You know what you just did? You just guaranteed Denmark's now going to win.
How?
Because you picked against me for that map. I have to come and pick against you for this one. So I'm picking Denmark, and you just doomed England to lose. How do you feel about yourself?
We lose at most stuff, so I'm ready for it. Okay. But right now,
well, you know what? At least you're honest about it. Picks and bans are live, by the way. England has opted to take track 22. Denmark has picked track 15. And in the bans, well, it's a lot of those easier tracks. 8 and 9 each taken off the board.
Yes, we will have to see what they ban next. But 8 and 9 going for some of the simpler maps, thinking that they can outplay the opponent in the more difficult maps. For sure.
Yeah, it's interesting, like, to kind of break down some of these picks as well. Like, England going for 22. This is a fascinating one for me. I think this is one that actually plays very well for Roy, who did struggle a little bit yesterday. So getting Roy on a bit of a more comfortable track, I think it's a very smart move. Now, Roy currently is sitting, I believe, 5th in the world on that one with a 55.005. So that's a really good pick in that regards. Meanwhile, Denmark opting for 15. A little bit of an interesting one as well. When you look at the combined team average, again, not necessarily the greatest, but at the same time, it's good for, Uno Gamer, pretty fast on that track, 26 in the world as well. So I can kind of see why they went for it. I imagine this is one, though, that Denmark has been practicing.
Yes, but we do have a few more maps that have come in. England has also picked 22 and Denmark picked 15, like we said before. But the random maps, the ones, that got picked from the heavens, from the graces, we have the first random map being 20, random map 2 being 16, random map 3, 7, random map 4, 24, random map 5, 10. Now it's for the final 2. Is there any maps you want to see here?
I'm having a little look-see right now. I mean, 18, I think, would have been an interesting one, to be perfectly honest, and it hasn't been banned. I think that would be a good one for Denmark if that can somehow sneak its way through, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case, obviously. 2016, 7, 24, 10. I always like watching the simpler maps because it's all about that precision, right? So I'm hoping we get, make it to, obviously, random 5, our 7th map, 10. But even if we get to see, track 7, which I think we might, if it goes 1-1, I think that'd be exciting as well. So pretty much anything after the initial 4, that means we have a proper series on our hands, so I'm going to be keen for that.
Now, that is one thing as a caster. Hopefully we can agree on this. I care for good gameplay. I care for these players to come out fighting each other. I want 3-3. I want the last match to decide this one.
Yeah, I would like anything besides a clean sweep because I got a lot of those. But it's going to be interesting if we do get a proper back and forth between these two sides, because again, neither of them have really lost coming into this one. They're each so accustomed to winning. You always have to wonder about the mental in a game like Trackmania, because as soon as you start to feel a little bit off or things don't go your way, that's when you start possibly taking unnecessary risks or playing a little too conservative, and you can fall into that quicksand trap. So I'm hoping these two maps, 22-15, do go in favor of each of these sides, so we do get that back and forth battle.
I definitely do think that's going to happen as they are warming up on the first map here, which is... I'm just trying to think.
No, it's going to be 22, right? That's what it's... Yes. Yeah, it should be 22. You could, we're opening with 22.
UK brain, what can I say? My brain's a little bit slow, as they can say. But yeah, hopefully England will win this one in my heart. I believe that England's going to win the first map, the second map, the third map, and the fourth map.
Well, that's just boring.
But it's England. It's now.
You're right. England is boring. I forgot. That makes sense. No, I don't think it's going to go that way, but I am kind of, look, I know I was joking about saying Denmark before. They're going to be my pick to win, but I do kind of also feel like, I don't know, it's that known versus the unknown, right? And the English side is the side that I'm more accustomed to. I don't think they're going to 4-0 it. I think we're going to get 5 maps instead. Denmark probably took track 15 for a reason. So I'm kind of leaning towards the 4-1 right now.
Yeah, but remember, these players have played a lot of ranked. They are very accustomed with these maps. So, maybe having, the random map order is really going to help these players, as they've had to practice all of them for competitive.
Yeah, I hope that's going to be the case for sure, as this warm-up is coming to an end very, very shortly, I do believe. And I'm going to be keen to get into this. Again, it'll be interesting to see how that pace is set. Now, I do remember, actually, I was wrong before when I said England picked, that 7th map. No, this is the one that they picked last time. They picked 22, because I'm watching it back and I'm remembering it. They absolutely crushed on this track yesterday, so I'd be feeling pretty good about England right now.
Yeah, ice is something new to TM 2020. So a lot of the, old players, the veterans, really just don't understand ice as well as they do with the other surfaces. And all the players in England came in with TM 2020. So it does make sense for them to pick a map with ice where they've had as much time as everyone else.
Yeah, and we'll see how that will play out when we get into it. Just 20 seconds away from our opening round. And we'll be getting right into it as... Hopefully we'll be able to go. Look, I'm going to let you call the first round because I'm just going to break the fourth wall right here. I'm getting maybe like a frame every 5 seconds, and I'm not sure I can do this justice if I do.
That is okay. Right now, we have all the players right inside of each other. Ice, you will see massive gaps coming up here. We do have 3 English players with 2 Denmark players trying to fight against them. Real Roy has a massive lead on everyone else as J-Nick makes a small mistake there, meaning that he loses so much time compared to the rest of them. Merch Jr. and Bozbez plus Jake Gray are fighting for the second place. It looks like Jake Gray makes a small mistake there. It's just the consistency coming out from these English players on the ice. This is the one thing that they are very good at. This is the reason they picked this map. Bozbez is getting chased down by Mertz. Mertz does have more speed. There is a chance that he could catch up here. He does go for an outside line. We'll have to see if this does count up. But it's looking like Bozbez is just too far ahead. It's all about these ice slides, and it's looking like England's got this right now.
Yeah, that's very similar to what we saw yesterday when we watched the English side on this track. They were just so consistent on sticking to those lines. And then the response that we saw from the Canadian team eventually was sort of panic, and they started taking, going a little bit too tight and then falling apart. So I'm going to be curious to see how the Denmark side responds to the pressure this time around. Watching again from Mertz's POV, you can see it's a pretty even start, but this is where the English side would like to pull away a 1-2-3 through that next checkpoint. But the control from Mertz is there. The question is, where's the rest of this Danish team? It's once again, it is a nice 1-2 start for English up over that big half pipe, and that's where you can lose your run so easily, but keeping it in control. Roy Boy and Devin each together, and that is J-Nick off the track, and with Jake Ray also kind of crashing out, it's looking again to be another English victory. Mertz is still going to try to win this round. It could be a nice little morale boost, only a couple turns left, but look how far ahead Devin is right now. Devin Joe just definitely feeling it right now. The shot call should be coming in. Play this corner safe, although I'm not sure who that was who went high. I think Bozbez. No, it was Real Roy actually crashed out on that last turn. It does not matter. It's a 1-3 victory, assuming we get to see Roy actually get across the finish line. There they are, and that's going to be another point for England.
Yeah, you can definitely see that J-Nick has made a few mistakes in this map. Now, with Ice, if you haven't trained it, if you haven't put so much time into this map, you just won't be playing well. You won't be able to keep up with the best, as Ice is definitely one of the harder surfaces. As we get into the next round, we will have Dwinjo. Okay, my apologies. Okay, so as we get into the next round, England does have a small lead. All 3 players are in front of the Danish. Jake Ray is trying to get a lead here by going for the inside line, but it's looking like he's just able to keep up. The speed is there for him. Only Bozbez is in front of the Danish players right now. Bozbez goes absolutely flying to space there, as Vinjo is in the lead right now for the English, but he does have a tail on him, a tail of the Danish. Bozbez is in the middle of this as they are fighting for this. J-Nick is slightly behind. He just isn't able to keep up the pack right now. Vinjo is still in the lead. He's got the pace. It's all about the pace they get here. The speed will go through the rest of the map here. Jake Ray does have speed on Bozbez. We'll have to see if he catches up here. Bozbez seems a little slow. It's looking like he may be able to keep it. It's really going to come to the end here. Vinjo definitely has first. Mertzu in second. Bozbez in third. And Jake Gray in fourth. That was the
best. It was good, right? But that was like the best looking run we've seen from the Danish side yet. And actually... Oh, there. Okay, Real Roy does make it in the end. I was starting to get a little nervous when we didn't see it, but yeah, that was the best looking sort of Danish run we've seen yet, because they were really sending it into those first couple corners in that ice. Unfortunately, though, they just couldn't again keep up with that consistency from the English side. England just so strong on this map. I'm going to be curious to see, though, if the Danish side continues to kind of take some of those risks, as once again, going through that first turn, you can see the Danish, they really start that turn early and are just trying to slide vertically all the way across that corner, and now they're starting to pull it off. Now we're seeing the Danish squad actually keeping up with England. This half pipe, though, a little bit of a disaster for J-Nick, winds up backwards, and that's probably going to cost him a finishing place in this race. It's up now to Mertz as well as, I believe, Jake Ray to get a 1-2 or that 1-3 finish, and bouncing off the wall. There goes Mertz, and I think that also goes with their chances to win this round. England just needs to stay calm, keep it clean, and they're going to be getting another point for themselves. 2-3-4 right now. Jake Ray still would like to take this round away. A sense of pride perhaps to kind of win with a track time, and I'm kind of curious to see what time Jake Ray is going to get, because that one was fast. 54.0, 56.581 will be the final time there, but with the 2-3-4, again, it's England getting the point.
England, all of the players just have consistency on this map. This is the key thing to do with this ice here. J-Nick has been making so many mistakes on this map. He really needs to step it up for his team, or they're just going to, get completely wiped in the first round. Even in this first corner here, England, look at how perfect they are with each other. Look at how much pace they have. Bozbez, and we have real Roy Boy in the front right now. Davinjo is right
that
there
line's
with him.
tight.
That is beautiful from them. Mert is fighting against him. He does want the Danish to give this a try. Some people go slightly too high there. Seems like a small mistake. Vinjo is in first place right now, but he is getting chased down by the Danish. The Danish, if they keep the points now and stay in second, third, and fourth, they will win this. They just need to make no mistakes. They do have the positions they need to do this. Vinjo needs to stay in the lead as well there. It's all about the pace they're getting. The pace here will decide it all. Will decide if they're able to keep their positions. It's looking like they're able to. It's a 2, 3, and 4, just what they want here. And it's looking like it's going to be an easy round. And this could come. This could make a comeback for them if they keep playing like that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, that's the first time we actually saw mistakes coming from the English side right now, and they were early mistakes as well. And the reason why that's just so detrimental is because when you make those early mistakes, it allows your opponents to really just play conservative. And on a map like this, which is so icy and so easy to misstep if you're pushing it, the fact that they can kind of ease back to settle into that 2, 3, 4, I think that's exactly what the Danish needed. That said, I am going to be looking for England to bounce back right now. Once again, they start so low on that first turn just to make sure they have that tight angle again through that U. This English side, they are so composed together. Bozbez, the only one kind of a little bit off the normal line as we go through the half pipe. J-Nick really threw himself right there, landing horizontally, but is able to correct themselves. Unfortunately, though, for the English side, actually, they're kind of missing out. Yeah, it's a 2-3 right now for Merchant Jake Ray with Venjo. Still holding on to that lead. Bozbez going to be trying to chase them down, but this could come down actually to that battle in the back. So J-Nick and Real Roy, they need to keep pushing if they're going to stay in this one. That is 2 members of that Danish side in the back. They're going to have to make some passes. If Real Roy plays it consistent, it's going to be enough. England, they have the 1, they have the 3-4. They're going to take the first map.
It's so clear to see why they pick this map. They have trained it. They have practiced it. Like, how many slide outs did you see from an English player there? I only saw like 1 or 2.
It was that fourth. It was that. Actually, sorry. It was the 5th point where we saw a couple of them slide out. It was the only one that Norway was able to take off of them. But outside of that, yeah, they were always so consistent. I don't think we ever saw them actually finish with the lap time above 57 seconds either. It was always in that 56-second range. It was just so strong, and that's why England takes that first point.
I don't think they were sweating at all there. I think England were calm, composed, and they got the point they knew they were going to get. But it really depends on this map here. Is Denmark able to get the map they want? They did pick 15. This is the map they are practicing for right now. There's 2 minutes before they start. They are... What would you say in voice comms if you were them right now?
I would say, why did we pick this map? Because this one is giving me flashbacks. I struggled so much on this one, trying to get myself a measly gold medal time. I don't know what it is about this, but no. I wouldn't be focusing on that. Obviously, at this stage, it's just keeping that composure. You kind of expect, I feel like, well, not expect, but you can be a bit more understanding if you drop the map that your opponents did select, but you still need to respond in time. So it's all about keeping that level head, keeping cool, and just knowing that you're going to take care of business on the track that you chose.
For sure. We will have to see what happens here. But plastic, I'm not the biggest fan of, and this map has enough plastic here for me to not enjoy the map at all.
You get what I'm saying then. This map just gives me flashbacks when I see it, especially when you have that engine off and you're just sliding around the plastic, knowing if you make one little bit of over or understeer, your entire line is going to be stuffed for the first half of the round. Like, it's tricky, and you can definitely ruin a run on this one in particular before you even get started.
I just don't understand how plastic works. I'm not going to lie to you. I know how every other surface works at this point. Plastic, no idea. It's a thing. You can go fast on it if you try. But yeah, that's pretty much it. All I know for plastic at this point. But we do have 40 seconds till we get into this. Will Denmark be able to make a comeback? Will they be able to, even it up, make it 1-1? Or will England be able to make it 2-0? We're about to find out.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one for sure. I feel confident in the Denmark side right now. Like, they gave up that one map. It didn't go their way, but you saw moments where they're able to challenge. And we're even seeing a little bit of a sub coming in, as well as, like, I believe that's pronounced Estek. I'm sure I'm getting it wrong. They're stepping in, so it'll be curious to see how they sort of fall into line with the rest of the team. But I mean, obviously, when you're subbing someone in, it's because they know the track, right? And they picked this track, so that's the player I'm going to be looking out for the most.
Yes, we will have to see as they do get into the first round here. Denmark, they need this win here. They need to make it 1-on-1. As a few people, you know, they hip and hop. They have a little bit of a dance here, but 2 Danish players are in the lead right now. But we do have Esports UK as a new player coming in for the UK side here right now. But J-Ray and Mertz Jr., they are fighting for this. They are trying to get there. They're trying to get the first lead. But Davinjo, he is trying his hardest. Esports makes a small mistake there to go into the next corner.
Yeah, that's one that ruins a run.
Yeah, just a few mistakes here. A few unlucky hits here. As Davinjo does take first, Jake Ray in second, Bozbez in third, Mertzu in fourth. That's massive for Davinjo to get the lead there.
Yeah,
they won the round. They actually won the round. That is massive for the UK side. This is the map that the Danish picked, and you're able to win it.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a big confidence booster for the English right now. And you can see the fact how the different lines, actually, even from the start, so obviously each of these teams have a different approach, but this is much more of what the Danish side wants to see right now. 1, 2, 3 through that dead engine zone, and now through this tough plastic turn, all of them getting the grip on the tarmac, and you can see they are just much more confident this second time around, and it is that English side playing chase, but Venjo once again kind of sneaking his way up there, doing battle with the front runners, definitely trying to put the English side on their back. I don't know if they're going to be able to catch one Jake Ray, but it's definitely going to be in that top 3 until they barely sneak in that landing. It doesn't matter though with the 1-3-6 finish. It is going to be a point going back to the Danish.
I want to talk about the Venjo right now. He is carrying England right now. Both maps, he has consistently been one of the best players on both maps here. We'll really have to see if he's able to get England the win on this map, because it must be so demoralizing if you pick the map and you can't even win it. But right now, Bozbez has a massive lead here. Look like a lot of players.
Everyone crashed!
Everyone's made so many mistakes. What's happened?
It looks like
game crash.
Game crash. Okay, yeah, I was confused on that one when you only see one person go through the checkpoint, and of course it's the player playing with the mouse, which I still think is something that I understand it, you know, a little bit more today. I get how it works, and I still despise it in the core of my being. So of course, you know, the player who's playing with the mouse, which speaks volumes of their character, is the one who keeps driving, even though poor drivers have disconnected.
I was about to say, look at the way he's moving his car. Beautiful, slick, sleek. Amazing gameplay here. This is a true UK player. A true English player. You know, the peak of everything, Bozbez.
Hit the wall.
Do you know why he did that? It was tactical. It's so he could turn around faster. So he could
and drive
quicker.
backwards faster. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so he could wait for the rest of the team. But it does
Lewis Hamilton qualified P16. He's English too. It all makes sense now.
I'll pretend I know what that is. All I know is Formula One. And we have our best player. That's all I know. Does that mean like placement 16?
Yeah. Okay, so I guess if I explain the joke, it's not as funny. TLDR, English driver did bad, uncharacteristically, very uncharacteristically. I am not a Lewis Hamilton hater. I actually think he is one of the best ever. But yeah, he had a roughie yesterday. Either way, look, we're back in racing right now, and I don't know. I'm assuming this one counts, or is it a warm-up? I don't know what the protocol is after a return from the pause, but I'm going to treat it as a proper race right now. Even though it is the English side currently sitting, I believe, 2, 3, and 4. Jake Ray up front, but Mertz is really the one who's going to have to take some aggressive lines to get back in this at the moment. All what the English side has to do is continue this consistent approach right now. Everybody taking the exact same line, although, that was one going off track. I didn't quite catch who it was. All I know is it wasn't Epos and it wasn't Bozbez. And now still with the 2-3 finish. I don't know. I have to do my quick math. Is it enough? Not quite. That's going to be a point for the Denmark side again.
That is a huge mistake coming out from the most consistent player, I would say, after the last 2 rounds here, giving Denmark the point there. They really had that. England had it in their hands and it just barely slipped through as they have restarted into another round here. But the Danish, they are scary on this map. They definitely are competing with the English here, as both Mertza and J-Cray do have a small lead here. Vinjo is fine for it, but Asterix Dunst, I haven't really seen him do much here right now. He really needs to try and get up to the pace here and not let his team down. But Bozbez, Vinjo, J-Cray are fighting for this first place right now. Mertz and Espos are fighting for this 4th and 5th right now, but it's all on this first place. Bozbez is in first with the mouse, I will have to say. And then we have the Vinjo and J-Cray fine for it. J-Cray, Bozbez, who's taking it? Bozbez does barely take it by 0.2 seconds. Incredible.
Yeah. That was a tight ending, but it was the exact response that English side needed. They're going to tie us up right now, 2 apiece. Bozbez coming across first with that 37.415, the current best so far of the round. So we can see these drivers are starting to take a few more risks. Oh no! Mertz goes sideways and off. So once again for this Danish side, they're going to need a big performance out of Aztec and J-Cray. And Aztec, who, as mentioned before, has been struggling despite being that sub driver in, really is going to have to push in order to crack that top 3 for any chance right now of a Danish point. But that also implies that J-Cray gets the win. But with Epos currently out in front by a car, slings until he bottles the jump. And now it's J-Cray and Aztec 1-2 coming into our final couple of corners. No way does Denmark bring it back, but they absolutely do with the 1-2 finish. Denmark should get the point. We just need that last driver to come across. Where are they? Where are they? I think they might have actually DC'd. I'm not too sure. This could turn into, and it does turn into, a draw.
Yes, that is very sad to see right there. But there's so many mistakes coming out for these players right now. All of these players here are making small mistakes. It's looking like the pressure's really getting to them on this map. But as we get into this round right now, J-Cray is in first, Vinjo and Epos are fighting for him. Bozbez and the Stecker is finally getting up there. He's finally getting into the pack. He's trying to make a challenge against these players, trying to show why he's on the Danish team right now. But J-Cray, he has a big lead. Is he able to take it? As Zetek, if he gets second place right now, it's going to be a free win for the Danish, and it looks like it's going to. Is Bozbez going to take it? No, he barely gets second there, securing the point there for the Danish. They have a good chance of winning this.
Yeah, that they do. Also, my math that was so strong before, I think it's gone bad. I called a draw when it was, we're going to, look, okay, I'm just going to blame the American education system.
It's okay.
That's where I went to high school in the States, all right? And you can
I'm so sorry.
Put that together. Yeah, exactly. So we make mistakes like that. It's what happens. Either way, though, it's a pretty good start from the Danish side once again. If they can keep this together, this 1-2, that will be them putting it away. 4+1 is still 5, right? Like, that's still correct?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Okay, good. So if they can hold on to this 1-2, they should be able to get it across right now. Bozbez, once again, is the one who's chasing less than a 1/10 of a second back through these checkpoints. They're trying to stay with it. It's all about this last lunge. Bozbez got in first. It's Epos second, Aztec third. I believe that's going to be a point to the English side. As actually, wait, saying J-Cray won it down there. I was looking at the wrong totals. Nope, that is going to go to Denmark. They do win the map.
Well, I have been given information from like 3 different people that instead of Dunst, it's Aesthetic. There we go. Beautiful. Dunst is the team that's supporting him. So beautiful. I always make this mistake. Names are difficult, man. Being English. Names are definitely on the difficult side.
Look, being English makes everything difficult, which is why it's so amazing that this English team does so well.
Don't talk about it, please. You know what? we won at football yesterday. We beat Switzerland. It wasn't friendly, but we did win it.
Does Switzerland even play football? Like, are they known for football?
Okay.
I'm genuinely asking. I thought Swiss were all more about winter sports. I don't know what. Like, again, American education, people. All I know is America, apparently. That and Australia too, because here's what happens, right? You grow up in the American education system, and then you move to a part of the planet that is remotely removed away from everything else. I don't know what I'm talking about. Look, warm-up rounds. Let's cast those.
Wait, okay. You can't bring up the sore spot to me, man. You can't be like, let's cast the warm-up rounds. But we can talk about the map. Our first map here is 22. It's a full speed map. How do you feel about full speed, good sir?
I love full speed. Obviously, you know, when you're a newer player to the game, like myself, and you're still picking up and you're still going, any map where you can just hold the accelerate and only focus on your turns are maps that I enjoy. And this one actually is also one of my favorites as well, because you really need to keep that full speed going. Any mistakes at the start of the track and your lap is pretty much, or your round, I should say, is pretty much done, because you won't make that first jump right there. You really need to be hitting that first full speed in order to get past that first jump and then access the second third of the lap.
Yes, for sure. But with the map here, right, it is a little bit untraditional. The map style, it is full speed, but you know, it has a few more turns, a few more things you have to dodge than usual. But the reason I like full speed myself is, it's just the pace. You just have to go through, and the further you get through the map, the faster you get. The speed just keeps increasing. And then by the end of it, you're barely able to see where you're going because you're just going that fast.
I'm going to put you on the spot right now. Full speed or dirt? And I know what your answer should be.
Dirt.
Good.
Dirt.
Correct. All right, good. Consistency, people. We were talking about this before the stream right now, and we're in agreement. This is great and all, but I want more dirt maps, man.
I do love a good dirt map. Hopefully we will see a dirt map later on today. But we do have 6 seconds until we get into this. Who do you think is going to take it?
I think the English side has been looking more consistent right now. So as much as I hate to say it in your presence, I'd be feeling confident if I were you right now. I'm leading towards England.
Yes, but both teams have put in the time. They have put into the effort as we get into the first round right now.
Jokes.
Don't we?
Jokes.
Okay, he says 2 minutes. Okay. Oh, that wasn't cast in first round at least. Okay, we have another 2 minutes of warm up. All right, that's fine. Okay.
Just gotta keep warming up. Gotta keep getting those stretches through and get ready to go.
Okay.
I'm interesting though, because it looks like we're getting more subs actually coming through right now as Slovagants. Is that how it's pronounced? Again, pronunciation not my strong suit. I think we've already covered this. But
I think we'll go for. Okay.
Solivagan.
All right. Perfect. We will try our best to say the name correctly. Mostly me. But Solivagan is the new player. We'll have to see. He definitely has an interesting car skin. It's looking a bit like why'd you hate it?
Look at it. Are you saying you like that skin?
I mean, it's okay. It's like a meteor.
It looks like burnt pizza.
I feel like no. I see it like a meteorite coming down on the English. You know, trying to burn them and let the Danish take over.
Yeah, you're burning the roof of their mouth when they take a bite of that slice of pizza. That's it's like the burnt cheese on top of them.
No, that's just
it's not
painful.
a very. Look, I call it as I see it right now. I'm also hungry, okay, and I have a pizza waiting for me after the stream is over. So maybe I got stomach on the mind. But no, I still think the English side. They've just been showing more consistency, I think, throughout even the track and on, our last round, which wasn't the one that they selected. They still were able to adapt to it quite quickly, and they were looking pretty strong. Again, Devinjo looking really, really strong today. Bosbez as well has been able to keep a couple rounds. So I think as long as England at least has one person up towards the front, they're always going to have that good chance. And the Danish side, they've been the side that's been having a few more crashes, a few more inconsistent rounds where just everything falls apart at the start. And that's kind of why I'm leaning more towards England as we do go through these random maps.
But J-Nick has been subbed in right now, and we do know how good this player is. And I would say this map is a little bit more speed fun instead of full speed. But with the map here, they are about to start. You ready, good sir? You ready, Formal?
I'm super ready for this one. We're kicking it off right now. I'm stealing our first round because you got to go first the last 2 times as everyone stays tight again over that mini ice section. It's all about the landing and maintaining the speed through this corner right here because you need it for this jump. Now, J-Nick actually choosing the middle line in compared to everyone else who went on that outside. And look at that, able to hold the momentum through that big grassy bank, at least momentarily. Epos has crashed out, and that's going to be a small disaster for sure for the English side. Yet, if you can hold on to that 1-2 or even that 1-3, it's still going to go English way. Vinjo, I should say, as well as Bosbed still holding quite well. Inside line for Solvigen again. Still getting these names. The inside line, probably not going to do that much good, though, because J-Nick is all the way back. The point is it's a 1-3 finish for the English, and all you need is that sixth driver to come across. All you need is that sixth driver. That sixth driver. There he is. Yeah, Epos makes it. There we go. And that's going to be a point for the English side.
Damn right. The English finally got there. They were able to win it all. They were able to win the round. As we get into the next one, I want to talk about J-Nick and, you know, the route he went last time for going for the inside pole. It seemed like it was faster at the start, but just the pace everyone else had on the exiting corner just allowed them to catch up to him. Allow them to, you know, really able to do what they can here. Just like J-Nick right now, let's look at him. He has more speed. He's able to be faster than them, but just everyone else, the way they're going about it, they just have more speed on the exit. They're just able to take this turn nicer. But J-Nick, he is still in the pack. He is still fighting. Vinjo is in the lead right now. Bodsbez is fighting against it. Same with Solivagun and Epos right now. It's 3 English players, 1 Danish player. These are the players fighting for this first position right now as they go into the next corner. And it looks like 2 people make massive mistakes. But it still looks like 2 English players were able to get first and second. They're okay. Yeah, they're English. I got scared. Oh.
Yeah, no, they were the ones who crashed at the end, though, and it's kind of going back to that reoccurring theme that the Danish team is the team that pushes a little bit too hard at times, and they've been making those unforced errors. So 2 points out in front right now for the English squad, moving in to point number 3. I'm going to be curious to see if the Danish start to take more conservative lines or if they continue to push on that second half of the track. Over that first jump right now, you can see J-Nick again on their own line going through the middle to get that speed on the big grassy bank, but this time, again, they use that to get that inside line, and they hold it well, but here's where they wind up losing some speed. Fortunately, though, it's the rest of the Danish team able to pick it up, with J-Nick falling back. We're going to be looking for that 1-2 finish for the Danish, but even then, you can see more Danish cars falling down. 2, 3, 4 currently, with Bosbez leading the charge for the English. In fact, Bosbez is going to move into the lead, going in through that final loop-to-loop. You do see Solvigen starting to make that comeback. Last turn, jump through the trees. 2-3 for the Denmark side. J-Nick will come across P5, and that's going to be a point for the Danish.
What a round from the Danish there. They were able to keep it, able to get another point there. And if the producer would care to show me, there we have it. It's 2-1. The Danish, they're making a comeback. They're able to get a point off here. We'll have to see if the English are able to, you know, take control again, able to take the next round as we get into the first big loop here. I love a good loop. Oh no, it just brings me so much joy. Just have so much speed going through it. But right now, everybody is right inside of each other. We cannot call who it is. J-Nick is the only player going for the inside line. It looks fast, but we'll have to see if he's able to keep it. Maybe he just hasn't done it correctly, but just look at the pace everyone has against him right now. Like, he just falls back down to last place there again. He really needs to try and learn the other line to keep up with everyone. But Solivagun is in first place right now for the Danish. He needs to stay here as he has 3 UK players right after him. These 3 players are fighting right against him, trying to get right there. As Acetek is trying to get there. He is 4th right now. And Acetek, he takes it. He blocks it.
Oh, Epos with that last lunge, I think. It's a tied time. They're dead equal. And I think the game is going to give it to the English player. What is this?
It goes to the player that got first. It goes to that team.
Ah. Okay, yes. So that's how it comes across. Either way, that was a point for the English side, but yeah, I don't think I've you know what, again, new to the casting scene, again, if that's not obvious with all the miscalls I've made, but that was the first tie I've seen, so that's pretty spectacular. Either way, it's still up to the Danish side to try to make that comeback right now. Solvigen currently in that first place. J-Nick this time actually doing a better job keeping up with the front of the pack despite that alternate line. Now actually looking to go for that 1-3 finish, which is exactly what the Danish will need. But Bosbeck is so good through the middle section of this track. Lands on that outside cone. J-Nick goes off. And that's going to be a small disaster for the Danish. English right now sitting in 2, 3, and 4. 2, 4, and 5. Either way, we come across the line. It is 1, 3, 4. That's going to be enough. England again get the point.
England are definitely showing their prowess on all of these maps here right now. But J-Nick, poor man, he was doing so well in that round. He was definitely one of the front runners. And just that small mistake there has put England on match point. England needs to win one more round while the Danish need to win 4 more rounds. So we'll really have to see if the English are able to close it out here. This could be the final round for this map, giving them a 2-1 advantage over the Danish. Gunn has been very good on this map so far. He's been one of the front runners, one of the best players right now, but Bozbez for the English has been competing against him. Bozbez does take an outside line. We'll have to see if he's able to catch up. Does he have enough speed here? I suppose he's out of the running right now. It's all 3 Danish players, 1, 2, and 3, but Bozbez is not wanting this to stay. Look at the speed Bozbez has. He goes past 2. He's trying to get past the 3rd one, and he does. Bozbez is in 1st place right now. Gunn makes a small mistake there, allowing Bozbez to take a massive lead over the others. If Gunn gets taken over, he's able to allow the English to win here. No, he gets 5th. The Danish, they secure a point.
Yeah, Solvigans actually was able to come back right there. I don't quite see what happened to Epos at the end. I believe they might have crashed out, but a small disaster for the English side does keep the Danish alive. So they're going to get that point. Again, trying to make that 4-round run happen. They're going to be looking to keep that momentum going once again. It's all about these opening lines right now. Do we see J-Nick again opt for that middle line? It hasn't been that successful for them in the past, but once again, slowing themselves down. They're going to go through that middle, and it looked like someone hit the pole, actually, in the back. I'm not sure who it was. It was Solvigan. Solvigan is down, and that puts so much pressure on the rest of the Danish team right now. The calls will be going forward. They're going to have to push for that top 2 finish. As we wait to see what happens at the moment, it is all England, 1, 2, 3, Bozbez. This is where they find so much speed going through that outside line into the loop. Even Epos playing it conservative right now. Bozbez is not playing conservative, swerving to get that best line. They want to win yet another round, and they do. Top 3 for England to secure our 3rd map.
What an absolute domination in that last round right there. All of the players from England getting below a 46.7. Incredible times coming out from all the players here right now, as England does take the map, giving them a 2-1 lead over Denmark.
Yep, it is Denmark. The flags aren't helping, right? Like,
what do you mean?
You guys need to sort your flags out. One of you needs to change. I feel like both England and Denmark showed up today like wearing the same clothes. And you expect one of them to change. And I don't want to hear, one's white and red and the other's red and white. I see 2 crosses and I see mirrored colors.
No, you blame Nadeo for that, I would say. I was about to say, Nadeo was the one to pick the Carskins. Or do you mean like the actual just flags?
I mean like the flags on the stream right now.
No, they are definitely different. No, they are so far different. Is this what you have living on the other side of the continent?
When you can describe them both as a red and white cross...
But, like, I swear most flags have, like, crosses on them at this point.
I'm
like
just
Switzerland
saying
as
those
well.
2 are very, very similar. That's all I'm saying. It's just you inverse the colors. That's how you do it. Hey, look, it's a new map right now.
And you got your dirt, as you asked.
We got our response, or we got our dirt track. And funnily enough, this is the one that I was practicing the most, actually, before we came live on stream.
Yeah? Do you know what time you got?
Bad.
Bad. Is that it? Just bad?
Yeah, let's go with that. I don't know. Whatever Epos is getting right now, I'm sure I was probably like a second under it, so clearly not very good.
Most likely, you're probably several seconds underneath these players. Even I'm not able to be a second in
under, exactly. Not over, under it. Yes. I probably am several seconds under. I agree.
Exactly. But we'll have to see if anyone is switched out here for any of the teams right now. It does not look like it right now, but they still have a minute to decide if they want to switch out a player right here. But both teams, they are showing, strong performances on all these maps. It hasn't been any, dominating victory from anyone. Anyone could take this still.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one for sure. Also, shout out to, who was that one? Doc Trademark Matt. Denmark is England's away kit. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I have to agree with that. Except, wait, I thought normally the team in white was the team with the away kit.
No.
So wouldn't England be Denmark's away kit? I don't know. Is it different in football than it is in normal sports?
I'm not too sure. Everybody has, different away kits. England's away kit that we used yesterday was blue.
Okay, so so it would be Denmark then being England's away kit. And that right there is why I'm going to be taking actually England to win this one, because the away team is always at a disadvantage and it's tough to come back from.
Yeah, it's that. I'm not sure how much of an away advantage you have when everybody's literally inside their own room. playing Trackmania.
Oh, that is true. It is. I mean, but the thing is, what's happened because they're in the away kit, the Danish players have actually had to take their computers and move to a different house, even if it's just the one next door, just to be properly away from home when competing.
Oh,
and that's going to throw off their mental. Would you like to take the first round this time?
I would love to take the first round, as we do get here with a new interesting way of looking at them right now. All players are right inside of each other right now. Jake Gray has a small lead, but makes a massive mistake, making it wide open for the UK players. 1, 2, 3. This is what the UK have. They need to keep this position. Bozbez makes a small mistake. He loses a gear now, leaving it up for Epos and Dvinjo to be first and second right now. Sullivan is trying to fight against them right there. He is trying to catch up. He's trying to get more speed. Same with Bozbez. Same for Aztec. These names are difficult to say. Aztec for that, as he makes a mistake there, keeping Epos in the lead right now. Sullivan, he is trying to fight for him, but it looks like Epos has just too much pace on him, giving a first round to the UK players here. 1-0.
Yeah, very, very interesting opening lap. It really felt, a couple unforced mistakes again from the Danish side. It has kind of become a symptom, I feel like, of these first couple rounds in each of these maps. The Danish side, they struggle to get those consistent laps in early, and they come into their groove more on that third and fourth point. Maybe this time we'll see a bit more consistency coming from the team in red right now as we go straight into it. Bozbez actually a little bit of a slower start, but still finds that nice line, staying with it. It's actually looking pretty good at the moment for the Danish. 3, 4, 5. Not quite where they want to be, though. They have to break up that 1-2 right now with both Epos currently in front right next to Devin. As we do go through that next point, Epos still holding on to it. It's a little back and forth right now. The Danish side, they're staying consistent, don't get me wrong, but they can't let that 1-2 finish come through. Bozbez definitely playing conservative, looking to pick up any scraps should anyone hit the wall. Last loop, last lunge. Do the Danish break up the 1-2? It does not look like it. Epos wins first, Dvinjo gets second, and it's another point to the English.
All these players have already had to play 2 maps, or maybe even 3 maps so far. They are definitely, at the best of their ability. They're all warmed up. They're all ready to, try their hardest here as we do get into the next round. With Dirt, remember, taking the outside line is very important here, as Epos barely doesn't hit the wall. Does anyone make any mistakes here? So it's like everybody is okay here. Sullivan has a big lead right now in first, but Vinjo is trying to catch up there. Bozbez as well. There's a mistake coming out from Jake Gray, allowing Epos to get up to that 4th position. But we do have Dunst, who is trying to fight for him right there. But Epos, look at that line. Incredible speed. He may be able to catch up. He may be able to fight for this first position. Look at that pace. He's going. He's chugging along. He's trying to get there. Is he going to be able to take over his teammates? Sullivan is in first right now. He's able to secure it, hopefully, for Danish, and he does. But just the English, they're just an army coming after him there. Winning the point there.
I mean, 3 drivers finishing under that 45-second mark, like within the 44-second range, but the 44.6 right there coming through. Pretty massive for sure. However, just wasn't enough to really put it away. That time, again, it was that English squad that was consistent, but I have to give credit where credit was kind of due to Solvigans in that one. They were pushing despite being in first place, and they were still taking risks, just getting right up to the curb when going through that dirt section. We'll be curious to see if they're going to have to do it again. I think they might, because once more, it's a super strong start from Epos and the English side with Dvinjo right behind him. Jake Ray, though, is trying to break up that 1-2, but the 1-3 still just as powerful, it seems, for the English right now. Solvigan and Asterix, they need to catch up, and Dvinjo is actually falling back a little slow through that next sector, and now you've got 2 members of the Danish side in the top 3, with Jake Ray getting a late lunge over in front of Epos. It's a car lengths lead for first place from Jake Ray, a 44.5. I believe that's the fastest time yet.
That was an incredible round there from the players.
Top 40. Top 40.
Wait. Sorry, what did you just say?
Top 40 time right there.
Just casually in a round, just top 40.
Yep. Just casual top 40.
That's just, for everyone at home, I hope you realize that shows how good these players are. You know how many players, like almost every single player that plays Trackmania plays the campaign at least a little bit. And he was able to get a top 40 time. That was absolutely insane. We may even be able to see a better time coming out for these players, as Solivagun is in first right now, but Epos is trying to fight for this. Bozbez is trying to fight for this as well. They're trying to catch up for him. Does Epos have enough pace? Is he able to catch up? Is he able to stop this Danish behemoth? No, he doesn't, as Epos makes a small mistake there, leaving Bozbez and the Vin getting second and third.
Yeah,
who wins that?
That's going to be a Danish point right there. 1-4-5, enough for the Danish to get the point. So they're back in this one now. Still a 3-2 English lead, but the Danish are responding in kind. Just a couple little mistakes. And I thought Epos was actually going to save that last lap because there was one turn where they wound up on two wheels and was able to keep it together, but unfortunately lost out at the end. Jake Ray, though, I think is someone who we need to look on that Danish side. Not quite as consistent so far as Solvigan has been, but when Jake Ray is on point, that's when the Danish are actually converting into proper points. As at the moment, Jake Ray hits the wall and is going to fall back, and now all of a sudden, that's a lot of momentum gone for our Danish side. As we watch Astiak trying to get up there, actually gets a very fast line and pulls right up beside Epos, but not going to be enough to take the lead. Not yet, at least. This last lunge is where Epos blasted before they hit the wall. Not quite. They actually kept it on the track. Very well done. It's a top bin finish. 1-4-5, enough for England to get the point.
Did you see the speed you can get on dirt? Now, this is why it's my favorite surface. You just slowly see him crawling up. You're like, okay, let's...
38th in the world, by the way, from Epos.
Sorry, words are hard when... Yeah, okay. Players, please. Do you want to give us any better Trackmania than you're already doing here? Look at Epos. He's right in front as he makes a small mistake there. How do you go from doing the 38th best in the world to making a small mistake? That's how much you have to push it as a player. But this leaves it wide open for the Danish players right here. 1, 2, and 3 are the Danish right now. They are trying to fight for this. Devin, Joe, and Bozbeds, they are trying to get this, but the Danish, they're running away with this round right now. First, second, and third, Devin makes a small mistake there, leaving it just for Jake Gray, Dunce, and Solivagun to just ride out to the finish line, getting a 3-point there.
Oh, another 44.5 as well from Jake Ray. You would think, with the members of the English side kind of falling off, they would maybe ease up a little bit, but I think the level of the play has kind of risen to that level where you cannot afford to let up at all. So lining up to go again, the Danish, they need to win to keep this map alive. If the English secure it right here, they move even further ahead. They'll move to match point. So English definitely are going to be looking for that strong result moving through that first checkpoint. Everyone's keeping it clean. Very high line from Jake Ray. Is able to recover. Looked like they were going to fall off. They actually lose a lot of speed as a result, and that is a big blow for the Danish side, but we lose an English member as well. That was Bozbez, who went a little too tight, and another English member dropping out. Devinjo hitting the wall, and now it's poor Epos on their own, who goes on two wheels and slides out. This should be a 1-2-3 finish for the Danish. No need to push too hard because England looks right out of this round. The Danish are taking it to point number 9. It's going to be a one-shot decider.
I can't watch this. I'm scared. I've seen England lose too much. I'm not sure if I can handle this. Formal, help.
You know what? I can't help. All what happens in Australia is winning. Okay. So this is it. Last round. This is going to determine it. Take us away.
Okay, everybody, who do you want to win? The Danish or the English? One of these is going to win this map here as Epos is fighting against Solivagun. These two players have been the consistent players for their team on this map right now. These two players have got they've got top 40 times in. That's how incredible these players are. They are fighting for this. Bozbez and Jake Ray are fighting for the 3rd and 4th place here right now. There's a few battles going on right now, but it's all between Epos and Solivagun for this first place right now. Epos takes a slightly outside line. Does this matter with it? Solivagun, he does have a bit of a lead here, and he's looked like he's able to take it over. But Bozbez versus Jake Gray. Bozbez, does he have more speed? He gets a launch at the end. He just gets extra pace out of nowhere. But
it's not going to be enough. 1-4-5 will do it, and it's going to be Denmark taking the 4th map. You doing okay?
So you just need a second to understand how incredible these players are playing so far. It's 2-2 right now.
Yep, 2-2 in a best of 7, might I add. So we still could be seeing 3 more tracks.
That's absolutely insane to see. What's the next track we got coming up?
I believe our next track on the list is going to be none other than track 7. So that's going to be a fun one. I like it. You know, I want to say Jinx because I said it at the exact same time as our producer, but then no one else will hear me and no one else will believe me. But just trust me, all right? We were in sync right now, just like these teams have been in sync. Track 7, though, how do you feel about this? Because it's going to be a lot simpler than some of the tracks we've already seen here today.
Well, I vouched that was funny, and you said at the same time, don't worry, man. I got your back. The map overall, it has a lot of water. I'm not sure how I feel about water, because water has a part to it where you have to get a very specific, like certain amount you turn where you can get an extra speed boost on it. So we'll really have to see if these players will have that and, you know, get the extra speed they need. This map definitely has skill involved. It has a lot of practice that these players need to do to get good at it. So we'll really have to see if these players can actually, you know, get it correct.
I'm sorry, there's just something like, it will never not be funny to be like, this track is, you know, really going to see these players' skills right as Aztec just drives headfirst into a wall. Like, Dunstay, I should say, it's right as Dunstay drives headfirst into the wall. I'm going to bring up a point right now, and I'm going to apologize first for getting the player's name wrong.
Okay, same here.
I am big dumb caster brain. I call name I see on screen, and I still stand by the petition. Just name yourself what you want to be called. Don't put crazy
it's because it's a team.
Suffixes.
That's why it's a team.
Oh, okay. It's a company. That makes sense.
Yes.
All right. Well,
See,
I guess if you have to have corporate branding, I can't help that. Everyone deserves to get paid for what they do.
You know what? We talk too much. Our fault. You know what? We'll accept this. We'll accept that we've made a few mistakes here. But...
Okay, hold on. Don't speak on my behalf. Hold on. I'm not sure I accept it entirely yet. I understand it. Accepting it's something else. We're gonna. The jury's still out.
Oh, the 7 stages are
later.
just on the first one. It's okay. You'll get there sometime.
I want to be difficult on. Sometimes you just have to be difficult on purpose.
Like when? Give me an example.
Well, I mean, you're from England, so that is already making things difficult on me, and I'm pretty sure you're English on purpose.
I never had a choice. I'm sorry to say.
Oh, so are you saying you would choose different?
No. No, I will not. I will support my English brethren here.
All right, good. Stand up for yourself, because you've been letting me get away with so much here. All right, I need some more. Twitch chat has been throwing it at me, and I appreciate each and every one for you, but I need some more from you.
All right, I need you to feel, you know, safe and secure in the community, and then I'll introduce you to some people. Don't worry, you'll get put in your place very fast. I don't have to do anything. You will be A-okay in this community, my man.
Anyways, hey, look at that. We're racing again. This is our first map right now, and it's not a warm-up, although Jaina might wish that it was because they're a little bit far behind. Epos, though, currently .1. Bez in point number 2, and when you finish 1-2, as everyone screamed at me before, that means you get the point. England gets the first round.
Okay, I want to talk about Epos real quick. This player has been absolutely dominating these recent rounds here. He's really been stepping up for the UK team, hasn't he?
He really has, and I'm pretty sure that time, if I'm not mistaken, was a top 70 in the first round.
Just the usual? Simple?
Yep. Sorry. Just crack some top 100s out there to warm up. It makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's like you're cracking your neck, you know, you're just cracking the top 100. You know, the simple here. But right now, we do have the Danish in a big lead right now with having first, second, and third, but there was a mistake coming out from one of the Danish, leaving only one Dane in first place right now, allowing Epos and Bosbez to fight for that. And Epos, out of nowhere, snipes first position right there. Again, his team, does his team win it? Maths, quick.
1-3-6, I believe, is
they should win.
Enough.
They should
be. But did the 6th finish? Okay, it did finish. All right. I wasn't sure. I didn't see Roy cross the line, and that's what had me nervous. Either way, yeah, they do get it. 2-0 lead for England right now. A fantastic start for the English squad, looking to keep that momentum as we move into our third point right now. That first hop, skip, and a jump once again sees Real Roy kind of fall a little bit behind, putting the pressure onto Eposk and Bosbez, but the two of them together have been so strong. Like, Eposk obviously is looking really good on this track, but on a couple of the others, Bozbez has been the one putting the English side on their back. Maybe not this point, though, because it's Solvigen as well as Dunst who's going to get across first and second, fourth for J-Nick as well, and that's going to be a point for the Danish.
The Danish are scary on this map. I'm surprised they didn't pick this for their map. They're really showing domination here right now. Like, they made a few mistakes in the first round, but they were able to get a lead in both rounds so far. So we'll have to see if they're able to do it. Go on.
I think one of the reasons why they didn't take this round is the fact that they did give up points in the first 2 rounds. When you look at the one that they took before, it was a lot more consistent thus far. Then again, hey, the Danish still could control it.
Yeah, no, just take a look again here. The Danish, they just are first, second, and third. It's quite surprising. They must have practiced this map. This must be one of the maps that they feel confident and strong on right now. Like, they are not getting really contested right now. But as speaking about that, Bozbez and Epos, they are trying to contest for this second place. Are they able to take over J-Nick? Barely not. J-Nick is able to secure his team another point there.
And another, sub 29 second round for Solvigen. So another good point for the Danish, tying us right back up to all. These times are so tight. Again, you kind of expect tighter times for a lot of the earlier tracks, especially within the green tracks as well, because they are a little bit simpler. It really comes down to that precision, and the times become so close. That's why the start is so important. And Epos looked good, but Solvigen's off of the bounce looks really good.
How does he get that
momentum
pace?
Moving forward? And now we're looking at a 1-2, maybe even a 1-3, more likely a 1-2. Epos cast a stick with the front runners, didn't quite get in front of him. It's Solvigen and then Dunst, 1-2, point going to Denmark.
Solvigen just put on cheats or hacks or something there. How did he get so much speed out of water? I'm usually known water for slowing someone down. That man just went to rocket. But the water bounce trick that he really did there was absolutely incredible. So it really looks like the Danish players really practiced the trick here.
Yeah, they are just absolutely picking it up right now as we watch everyone through that water bounce. And whoa, very wide line coming from J-Nick. Not sure what happened there, but J-Nick out of the running. So once again, it's down to Dunst as well as Solvigen to see if they can get that 1-2 finish. But Solvigen hit the wall underneath. That's going to cost all of the momentum, and that's going to be a point for England if they can keep it on the track. You know they can. England right back in it with a very fast time out of Epos.
So Solvigen did try to do the world record trick, which is a water bounce. So that's why it looked like that's why it looked a little bit weird there. But he was trying to hit the wall to gain extra speed there. But it looked like it just wasn't able to work there.
Yeah.
But we do have to see if he is going to try that again. Maybe, if he's risking where he has to get first place and he's in second, he may be able to do it there. As Solvigen is in first place right now, he just understands this water bounce to a T. He must have practiced this map a lot here. As Bozbez makes a small mistake there, Epos makes a small mistake as well. So it's all up to Real Roy Boy if he's able to do anything for the English side. But no, it's looking like the Danish are just absolutely just devastated on this map.
To go back to a previous point, though, on that last round, only Trackmania can you drive headfirst in a wall and be like, no, I was going for the world record.
No, you missed out on there was an ice trick, right? Where if you hit a wall at the perfect point, you would actually gain speed as well. But I think it got patched out.
Oh, that's a shame. See, I like dumb stuff like that, Smashing into walls, I'm very good at it. And if you're telling me I can go faster by doing it, please sign me up. At the moment, though, I think it's the Danish side that are signing up for all the speed right now. They've got a nice 1-3-4 lineup together, but Bozbez always seems to pick a momentum on the second half of these tracks and is making that late lunge now with Real Roy by their side. In the front, though, is Solvigen and Epos again going at it. Epos will cross first, second, third, though, for Denmark as they all come across. It will still go for the English side of 1-4-5.
Just guys, everyone, that was a sub 70, by the way. Just the usual. It really just shows how much practice these players have and how much they really trained all of the maps.
This is round 9. This is to win it.
This is to win it, as we do have Gunn, the most consistent player on this map by far. In first place right now, we have first, second, and third for the Danish right now. One English player out. It's down to Bozbez and Real Roy Boy if they're able to do anything here right now. Bozbez, he is trying to fight, but it's just looking like the Danish just have too much speed. And the Danish do take this. They take the map. 3-2.
EPOS on the rock for England, bouncing off the wall on the final point, and I really feel like that's going to be what cost them in the end. A rough time for an unforced error, but there it was. So Denmark, they take that round, they win. Arguably the simpler one, map number 7, but it is what it is. That's now going to be a 3-2 lead to the Denmark side. Going to map 24 next, England. Their back is against the wall. Denmark 1 victory away from our grand final.
The grand final. England, we did say that, well, at least I said that they were going to win, but they're really on the back foot right now. They need to win 2 maps now to get through.
Yeah, and map 24 is going to be a bit of a difficult one. I do feel like, well, potentially could be that difficult one. I know for England in the past, map 24, they're actually pretty strong at it. In particular, Davinjo, I expect to see them get subbed in coming into this event. Had that 16th fastest time in this, not to mention Bozbez sitting at 37. Meanwhile, for Denmark, when you look at it, though, it's all about Solvigan. 9th in the world on this track, so definitely very fast drivers on this one. And you can see it's a very tricky track. You have ice sections, you have fast U-turns, not to mention this ending with this big sweeping dirt U-ey, or I say U-ey, but it's kind of more of a bank. Either way, into a very bouncy little section right there that, as Real Roy shows, tough to keep it on the track. Go through here, get a little bit of a boost into these last couple turns, and then if I'm not mistaken, it's a loop-to-loop into a bit of a launch as well into the finish.
I can really see you've been doing your research on Trackmania, huh? Been really looking at these maps. How do you feel about this map? Do you enjoy it?
Well, I just remember it from yesterday. And yeah, this map is a super fun one to watch because there's, again, it's one of the faster maps on the black section, despite being, a little bit more technical, but because it's faster, I kind of expect to see similar times almost like what we saw in that last map, where it's only going to be, a couple tenths of a second separating these guys, because even though it's fast and precise, there aren't too many tricky sections that can really separate these guys, so it's going to be those minute differences.
Yeah, but these players, this map really just has everything Trackmania has to offer. A little bit of grass, a little bit of ice, a little bit of dirt. I'm not sure if there's plastic on this. Do you remember if there's plastic?
Unfortunately, no. I wish there should be.
There doesn't have plastic or water.
We need wet plastic on every map.
Every single Trackmania player will despise what you just said. I hope. No,
I think it's perfectly reasonable. Look, if you can't drive on wet plastic, why even play the game? Hey, look, we're starting.
Trying to
no need to refute me. Question. We're starting, so call the action.
Okay, I'll call England's already down a player as Real Roy Boy is slightly behind the pack right now. Another mistake comes out of Bozbez, I do believe, leaving it wide open for the Danish players right now. If no Danish player makes any massive mistakes, they are able to take the first round right now. They are going around the dirt loop right now. Everybody seems safe. On the ice, going a slightly high. Again, a slight, little bit of a turn. It's all on this U-turn right now. There's a big mistake coming out from one of the Danish players right now, leaving it wide open for the English players to fight back. Vinjo, he really needs to get first place here if he wants his team to compete. If he wants his team to get a point here right now, he needs to take over for Solvigan. But Solvigan, we did have one of the best times here, one of the best players on this map. So he's a hard player to beat as they go around the next loop-to-loop. Coming near the end right now, who is able to take it? Vinjo, he is in first place right now. It's a battle in this first place, and he is barely able to take it with a 103.9.
All just comes down to who gets 5th right now, and it's going to be Jake Ray, so that's actually going to be Denmark taking the first point.
What a close round for first match.
Yeah, again, it's those little mistakes, though. And actually, I think I'm surprised Jake Ray was actually able to salvage a P5 from that, because we saw Jake Ray hit that wall and just launch themselves in the air. So kind of a nice recovery for the Denmark side. And, that's 0.1 to them. 4 away from a trip to the grand final right now. But it's Real Roy, who had that initial tight line, couldn't quite keep that speed. I think Bozbez might be in first through the checkpoint on that wall ride. But look at Solvigan. just pulling away in first place. You can see Bosbez trying to stay with him, but with that 1-3-4, this is exactly what Denmark needs. Devinjo still about a half a second back right now, has a lot of climbing to do along with Real Roy as we go through the ice section. All we need is consistency here, and Jake Ray again bouncing off the wall, and Denmark, who looked like they had this point wrapped up, all of a sudden it could be in a bit of question right now. Real Roy taps the wall though, and Drake Ray will go right on by for 5th place. Meanwhile, in that fight for first right now between Solvigan and Bosbez, it's Bosbez who has that lead and looks to be a couple
Jake Ray makes another mistake.
Jake Ray again off the wall. Oh my goodness, no one just getting a clean lap at all. And if Bosbez comes across in first, there might have been a chance, but those unforced errors on the back from the English side, I'm not sure they're going to be able to recover. It is a 2-3-6. Nope, that goes to England. 1-4-5 gets it done.
What a close round from these players. It feels like a battle, doesn't it? This really
I actually
feels...
would agree with Comrade Lewis and say that was more of a clown fiesta.
Nah, I see it more as a battle, right? All these players are going tooth and nail. They are pushing. They are trying their hardest. They want to win the TSCC. They want to get to the finals. Because if they lose here, there's no lower brackets. There's no way to get back at it. So they need to win it right now. Jake Ray, Bosbez, and Devinjo, they are fighting for this first place. Bosbez did win last round. Is he able to win another one right now? They all go around the dirt loop. Everybody's got so much speed with ice. It's all about getting as smooth as possible. Up to the turn, does anyone make a mistake? Jake Ray does not make a mistake this time. He's in second right now. There is no one going to Jupiter as Devinjo is trying to take over Jake Ray. Jake Ray is still in second though. Son of a gun is fighting there as well. It's all for this third place right now, third and fourth place. Who's taking it? Bosbez has a consistent lead right now. If he makes no mistake, he will be there. Devinjo, is he able to keep it? Real Roy Boy is trying to take over Dunce. Is he able to take him over? It's a big fight. He does have the inside line. It does look good for him. It's all about this. Does he get it? And he barely gets it with, it's that 0.002.
Oh. Minute 2:008. Look, 1.2881. I'm curious, is that a top 100? I'm asking the producer right now. He's not screaming at me, so I'm going to assume that wasn't quite a top 100, but still a very fast time. And those are the types of times that we are going to be needing to see from the English side if they're going to stay in it as we move for our next point right now. Everyone tries to stay as low to the ground as possible through that bit of a jump. And once again, it was England at first, but they're losing their momentum a bit, just a fraction of momentum lost. And all of a sudden, that lead is gone. Jake Ray currently first. You have Devinjo in second and Dunce in third. Into the ice section, everyone tries to stay as low, as smooth as possible. No one quite losing it. Jake Ray, inconsistent on this part in the past. This time keeps it together and is holding on to that lead with Devinjo right behind in second. Dunce in third. Solve again fourth. Real Roy back in fifth. Jake Ray has a few car lengths ahead right now. In fact, it's a 1-2-3 for the Danish side. Devinjo with that inside line may have taken third place back, but still needs to get into that top two for any semblance of a chance. Only a couple turns left right now. Jake Ray pulling further and further ahead. Devinjo is able to get in front of Dunce, though. That's P2 at the moment, but Real Roy has to get into P4 as well for any chance. It's a team effort, and the team may have let Devinjo down. 1-3-4 is a point for Denmark.
Did you see Zollivan's speed there?
It was insane.
What did I just watch? That man was zooming past everyone there. The pace he had was absolutely insane right now. But England, they are on the back foot right now. They need a win. They need to get a win soon, or they will be getting eliminated very, very shortly, allowing Denmark to get into the finals right now. Jake Ray is in first. Bosbez is the only English player fighting for first place right now. Devinjo is trying to join him right now. Dunce and Devinjo are fighting for this fifth place right now. Looks like Dunce is winning out here right now. Bosbez and Jake Ray are fighting for first. Who's going to get the ice turn better? Bosbez is lower down. He should have more speed coming out. It's all on this turn. Any mistake? Jake Ray makes a massive mistake and gets into sixth place right now. He's definitely going to get sixth here. Dunce makes a mistake as well. And it seems like it's going to be open for the UK lot right now. But it depends if Jake Ray is able to take over Real Roy Boy. Is he able to catch up here? He does have more speed. He is hunting for him right now. Soderbergh is hunting for first place as well. But just look at this. Devinjo and Bosbez, they just have such a lead. No mistakes coming out. If I was the players right now, I'll be saying, just keep it calm. Keep it quiet. Just get there to the finish line. And they do. And that is a win for the UK lot. They really need it.
I misread the time. For a second there, I thought that was a minute 1 second. 3-5-1, but it was a minute 3, and I was about to lose my mind. Davinjo, though, still very, very clean, collected, and a very important point for the English side. They're back out in front in this one, 3-2, so we're not going to have our match decided yet, but I definitely feel like the Danish don't want the England to get to that match point. Case in point, look how tight they are around those first couple corners. Real Roy has the lead, but that is all 3 Danish members right on their tail, and when Solvagain is actually the slowest member on the Danish side, you know they are coming with some speed right now. Real Roy trying to hold on, but it's a 2-second difference to Bozbez back in 5th. I think some crashes happened behind the track, so they don't need that P1. They just need to have a consistent lap right now, and they're going to get it. Bozbez now 3 seconds back. Davinjo even further. Oh no, Jake Ray again! On the U-turn, may have messed it up, and all of a sudden that could open a doorway for England to get back in this. Jake Ray, you can see, kind of falling a little bit further back behind, but it's those times in that back corner, still 2 seconds ahead of 5th position, so it still should be okay for the Danish team, who actually have moved in ahead in the first place right now. Dunst currently in P1, and with quite a bit of a gap in front of Real Roy as well. Solvagain just keeping it safe and consistent through these final couple of corners. 1, 3, 4 should be enough, assuming that Jake Ray does come across in 4th, which they do, and Denmark ties it once again.
This is scary from both of these teams. Like, England's making many mistakes. We knew them for being consistent. We knew what they were going to bring coming into this. You know, consistency, relaxed vibes, and they were able to do it. But right now, it seems like a different England that we saw at the start of the rounds. At the start of, all of these matches here. But speaking of England right now, they are fighting. They haven't made any major mistakes so far.
Crashed.
All 3 English players are in and contended for this first place right now. Real Roy Boy, he does have a slightly outside line. He doesn't have as much pace as everyone else, but we'll have to see if Solvagain can do what we know he can do on this ice part. He will have so much pace. Just look at him. He's just out of nowhere. He's just able to get so much speed. He takes over 1. Is he able to take over Bozbez? He is fighting for it. He takes an inside line. Does that give him more speed? It doesn't look like Davinjo has or is able to catch up to him right now. It's Solvagain against the world, against all the English players. The might of the empire is against him right now. Is he able to take over it right now? As he does take over 1. Oh! He is fighting against them. He's going tooth and nail against these players right now. Solvagain, he does still have the lead. Is he able to keep the lead? And he barely does. The British Empire fell to poor old Solvagain.
Yeah, but they still get the point, so I guess they get bailed out by, the strength of the rest of the Navy, I suppose. Either way, yeah, that's going to be what... yesterday we were talking about, what was it, Obama's regime, and today it's about the English Empire. We're getting very imperial here in Trackmania, and I don't know how I feel about that. What I do feel strongly about, though, is England's chances right now to take us to a map 7. If they can get this point, they will do it. Although that's not the start that Bozbez wanted. Off the wall, momentum gone, and right before this wall ride, it's going to be tough to make this jump, and Bozbez is able to bounce it, but is kind of out of this race. The battle now goes back down to Davinjo and Real Roy. They have to get a 1-2 or a 1-3 perhaps if they're going to be able to pull this one off, but as you can see, looking at those times at the moment, it is all Denmark right now. Jake Ray in first place with a bit of a gap in front of Real Roy, but again, they're off the wall, but so is Real Roy. Nobody's making it clean right now. And again, Jake Ray goes flying. I'm not sure who's in the lead. Davinjo somehow came out in front, and Real Roy in 4th. Bozbez, who crashed at the start, is currently in P3. I think Denmark just threw this map away. England just need to keep it on the track, and they're going to be able to get there, but Real Roy's bouncing off the walls as well.
What's happening?
And Solvagain says, well, it's Jake Ray get back in front. It's a bit of a disaster because Dunst is in the lead, and a 1-4-5 will take us to a final point. Bozbez is able to get 3rd place back, is able to cross that line. It's all about who finishes 5th as we wait to see. It's going to be Jake Ray, and that's going to be Denmark tying it up.
Oh no, the flashbacks are coming. Being English, this is hurting, but unlucky from the English players there. I'm going to pray for you, England, okay? Everybody in guy,
This is the decider round as well.
Sullivan Good is in first place right now. Will Roy Boy, he is in last. He has made a small mistake there, but it's okay. Davigno is in fifth right now. Did England just die? It's down to Bozbez. Look at this player. This player needs to get first place right now. He needs to do everything he can. We know how good Sullivan Good is on this map. He needs to hunt. He needs to use his mouse in a way that no one has used the mouse before. He needs to beat a player as strong as Sullivan Good, and he's doing that right now. He is hunting for it. He is trying to keep England in this, and he's looking like he's going to try his hardest, and he's doing well at this. Jake Gray's taking an inside line. He's trying to get more speed, but we need a crash coming out from one of the Danish players. One of the Danish players needs to make a mistake, and it's looking like it's not going to happen. It's looking like the Danish players are going to get through to the final. It's all down to these players if they make a mistake. Dunst, Sullivan Gunn, and Jake Gray have secured themselves the finals.
Oh my goodness, England. You know what the difference was in these maps, right? England kept pushing when they were secured. Denmark knew when to play it safe. England continued to try to expand, continued to try to take more and more territory for themselves, and eventually they just got too big and kind of imploded. Where Denmark, they kept things controlled, they kept things a bit smaller, and they're able to come out on top. So congratulations to Denmark. They win the series 4-2. Fantastic showing from them, and I believe they have Germany waiting for them in that grand final now.
I'm sad. I'm a broken man. Everyone, being English is hard.
I can only imagine and empathize as much as I want to, which is not very much right now.
I was going to sing the national anthem. We're going to celebrate, but we cannot. But I will be fair in the loss and say, well played, Denmark. You better win this. You better win this for the English. I am very proud of you guys. Well played. And they are going to the finals. Do we know what's happened with the other semi-final?
I'm pretty sure it's currently, I'm looking at like the score right now. It's actually 3-1 Germany over France. So I said before, I think it's going to be Germany. That was a little bit of projection. France might be able to make that comeback. And if you want to catch that action, I believe there is a French speaking stream actually. So you could go ahead to there. Someone will probably link it in the Twitch chat or something, and you could go check it out and kind of see how that one is going. But Zathdos, I hate to say this, but this grand final, it's only for winners, and your country lost. So I think this is time to say goodbye to you.
Oh, well, I wasn't going to cast the finals anyway, but I feel like this is a perfect way to leave
that's what it was.
together.
I wasn't going to do it anyway.
No, the plan was.
I joke. We had this scripted.
Did we? we had England scripted to lose? I don't think so.
No. We had your replacement coming in scripted.
Oh, yes, of course. But do you have anything to say about that match, though? Because that was so close. That was a pretty intense match to watch.
I think the pressure got to the English side. Again, they were pushing it a little bit too hard in moments when perhaps they didn't need to. And I think it was that third to last point that really kind of sealed the deal, the one where everyone was crashing out, and Denmark kind of played it a bit more conservative, and English continued to keep pushing, and then the chat started spamming clown emojis, and I think that kind of summarized how I felt about particularly that last map in this series.
Can I tell you something? Summer 2021, England came fourth.
They came fourth here. They came third, fourth here today.
They came third/fourth. And today they came third/fourth.
And you know what? As much as I joke about it, that is very damn impressive.
Oh, that is very impressive. They should be very proud of how far they have come. Now, so quickly asking the producer, are we talking still or what?
No, I think we throw to a break. I think we relax.
Okay.
Come on, man. I think it's time to relax. We got to get prepping. We have to get Noah Lerck back in again from yesterday. That's right. The Irishman is going to be back, and I think he'll be joining me for that grand final, whoever it might happen to be. Again, do make sure, if you haven't already, to follow, subscribe. I don't know, social plugging. I never do it. I'm not a streamer. You stream.
Yes.
How do you do the social plug? Can you walk me through how to properly plug things?
Okay, so is there anything you want? You have a Twitter? You do your Twitter, don't you?
But I'm still here.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think anyone wants to follow my Twitter after this. You should talk about your own one.
All right. I will do all of the socials for everyone. So everybody, I will be disappearing after this, but we will have still Formal here, an amazing caster come to join him as well for the finals, which should be happening very, very shortly. Now, for everybody here, we do have Twitters. we do have Discord, and I've found out that it is about 10 minutes away for the finals. So I would like to say thank you to everybody for watching. I do have a Twitter. It'll be somewhere. I will stream at some point, but that's all. Now, thanks everybody for watching. We will go to break and enjoy the rest of the stream when we come back.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Trackmania Seasonal Country Championship, where we have a grand finals coming up. I'm subbing in for Zapdos. I still have Formula alongside me, and we have Denmark and Germany set to clash in a best-of-9 here to decide who's going to win the whole thing.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting one. Before we get into it, one last time, a big thank you to Zapdos for coming in. Unfortunately, too emotionally distraught after his English team fell a little bit short. So big thank you to you for subbing in right now. But yeah, Germany versus Denmark, two teams have seen strong performances already on stream. Grand final, best of 9. This is going to be epic.
It's going to be so exciting in best of 9. Look, we have to focus in on it a little bit here before we get started, because that is a lot of Trackmania to be played here, Formula. And more than anything, in a best of 5, there was only the potential for 3 random maps. And if you could be good at your own map and, kind of be okay at 2 others, better than the other team at that, that's fine. But with a best of 9, that's a potential for 7 random maps. That's a lot of variance and a lot of random maps you have to win. And it means potentially we could be seeing a lot more back and forth between these two teams than we did in the lower rounds of the groups.
I mean, that's certainly what we're going to be hoping to see as well when we get into this. But it's still going to be, I think, a tough ask for this German side to get on top of Denmark, who is kind of continuing this undefeated run. Yes, they dropped that map against the English side on the map that they chose. But outside of that, I'm pretty sure Denmark has been rolling nearly undefeated. I mean, they 3-0'd the groups compared to Germany, who did drop a game to Norway. They've kind of been crushing through this knockout stage, and they are poised to win this event.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to stop talking for a quick second, Formula. I think I'm having some audio issues. So, hey, do some chatting.
All right. I'll continue to chat. That's all well and good. Hey, Twitch, how you going? So, I feel like this Denmark side is quite strong. But for those of you who didn't watch yesterday, we did get to see Germany get at it. And this squad was looking pretty good as well. They went up against Czechia, where They had a strong performance against the Czech Republic. Elcon was looking unstoppable, but unfortunately, it is a bit of a team game, or at least a team format in this one. And for Germany, it was all about New Prime as well as Giuliano, who were constantly able to kind of keep up with Elcon, who would win the stage, but then it'd be like a 2-3-4 or 2-3-5 consistently for the German side. And what's super impressive about them was the fact that they always stayed so tight together. Now, looks like we're in a bit of a warm-up right now, actually, which usually means the picks and bans have gone through. Actually, I think we're doing our picks and bans right now, if I'm not mistaken, and hopefully we will get Alex back with us, aka Noelek. How's your audio? I'm just going to test right now. Can you hear me? That's fantastic. So, yeah, we're still kind of waiting for that. First bans are coming through. 11 and 5 are going to be banned away. Denmark banning 11, Germany banning 5. So no simple map today. That's going to be taken off the equation. Back onto Denmark right now. 11 being banned away from Germany as well. And not too surprising. Germany pretty fast on that 11 map. Giuliano, a top 25 driver in that regards. But when you look at Denmark as well on track 5, I'm actually more surprised that one got banned out, because I feel like it's a little bit more even when you compare the two teams, but I think overall it was the case that Denmark was more consistent on that map. That said, our first pick has come in. Germany has selected track number 8. And now track number 8 for Germany is going to be a strong one, I believe, for them. Again, this is really strong for Giuliano. Top 50, actually placed 40 to be specific on that one. So looking for them to be the carry. But I think the big thing about track 8, though, which is why it could be a risky pick, Mertz Jr. actually is one of the top drivers on track 8 as well. So it might not be as easy as a victory for Germany as one might think. In response as well, Denmark did take track 9. So track 9, the response. Track 9 for Denmark is a strong suit for, once again, Mertz Jr. as well as Solvigan. But I think Solvigan's pretty much strong on all of them. But a big one is Jake Ray, a top 10 driver on track 9.
Absolutely. They're definitely going to be scary, and we'll get to see the second round of bans coming through. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that the stream can hear me again now. Apologies for the audio issues there. Look, we do a little messing around with the settings, and hopefully we're all good to go at this point.
Yeah, we're waiting to sort of see. I'm assuming now, Twitch chat, I'm going to be relying on you a little bit. Was there just a little bit of silence there? Did it look like I started talking to myself, or were you able to hear Noah Leak? I'm assuming the fact that like no one was screaming, why is everything silent, is the fact that you were heard. So how does it feel good to be heard finally?
It feels good to finally get my voice heard. I'm definitely, well, okay, I'm not even going to start making jokes on that one. Look, we're waiting for a last ban to come through for Germany on this one. And when we get it, we'll have a little bit of an idea, and then we'll get to see our random maps, and we'll hope. I mean, I think this is a match that could go all the way to random number 7 for them.
Ooh, I hope it does for a couple reasons. I mean, at least of which, hey, that means, less time before getting ready for that Formula 1 race after. But also, hey, that means more maps we get to see as well, as it is going to be map 6 banned away. So Germany just banning all of these lower maps, 5 and 6 banned out, 8 and 9 were selected. If random 7 doesn't come up in these 7 maps, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah, we'd love to see it. I believe it's 7, the map that's playing in the background on the stream right now. God, the numbers are so hard. It's so much easier when they have names rather than numbers. I'll admit it. But
I do agree.
It'll be 20...
it is 7.
It is 7, absolutely. And that's one that we've seen a lot in the quarterfinals, the semifinals on stream so far. That could be an interesting one to come up for sure. But we'll see the randoms coming through now. 23, 18, 22. That quarter pipe that the English were so fond of, but they're gone now. 25. We're going to be seeing all the high-ranked maps apart from 24 banned away by Denmark. 15 to come through as well. Random 6 and random 7 will come through in a few seconds, and we will get to see exactly what they are. I believe it's random 10 and one more map to be picked. Do we get 7? Will we go all the way for random 7, map 7? Fingers crossed.
I believe.
Fingers crossed for him. We'll keep them crossed. Okay, we're waiting. We're holding. Believe
17 doesn't count because that's actually not even allowed to be played. So if we're going to get a 7, it has to be 7.
It has to
7
be.
on 7.
And there's no map 27. I'm thinking maybe if they extend the campaign real quick.
No, it has to be 7. 17 banned out, not allowed, and 27 doesn't exist unless we want to bend the rules or something. This is I think we're having a tough time kind of rolling right now. It looks like it was 13. 13 was the last one that came out. See, I can see the future. But yeah,
Whoa.
13.
Yep,
disappointed though.
I mean, obviously we're missing out on 7, but I mean, an exciting lineup of matches, and hopefully we do get to go deep. Hopefully we do get to see them. Germany and Denmark, both teams that have had strong showings in it. Germany, I think the scariest part right now, if you are Denmark, in both their quarterfinals and their semifinals formal, Germany managed to win on their opponent's pick. So looking at that map 9, I hope Denmark are very practiced.
I mean, yeah, but I was kind of talking about that one beforehand. I mean, I feel Denmark actually should be able to handle it. Track 9 for Germany, not really been their strong suit. Like New Prime, yeah, he's strong on that one. But if you look at the team overall, it's one of their weaker tracks. So I feel like that's looking good for Denmark. In fact, I feel like most of these maps, to be quite frank, are looking good for Denmark. Obviously, we'll get more into that when we do get closer to it. Should be moving to the warm-ups any moment now, and then we're going to be getting closer to this grand final. Again, this is mostly for player pride right now, as that is what is at stake. And I mean, for both these teams, a chance to win, to say, yes, our country is the best, be it Denmark, be it Germany. I don't know. I think you'd be pretty proud of yourselves if you're able to put it together.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, at this point, you can be proud of what you've accomplished anyway. There were a lot of teams in this competition. I believe we kicked it off with the full 32, 36 in that range anyway. And I mean, going all the way through that, making it through the full Swiss, going into playoffs. And I mean, the round of 16, it's anything really can happen in these rounds when you just have to drive. I mean, sure, consistency will normally win out, but I mean, in the Germany-France match, for example, the first 2 rounds, both of the maps that both teams picked went all the way to a 4-4 and a round 5 tiebreaker, and Germany came out on top in both of them. And that really is the situation where, you know, one crash, anything could happen. We saw what happened to Roy Boy at the end of the last map in the deciding round formally, you know. I mean, a slip of the finger, that's all it takes, and you head on out.
As we're going to get into our warm-ups for track number 9 to open us off in the green section. This one, you know, it's got that fun little icy start where you've got to get yourself onto that little bit of tarmac and not launch yourself, as we see a player do in the background. There is a lot of ice on this track, if memory serves me correctly. A lot of these sort of ice banks, as you do get a little bit of that loop, but it's all about keeping that speed through these ice sections. And you'd expect the players at this caliber to be able to hit them, but as we saw in our semifinals, everyone is pushing at a ridiculous level right now, and the smallest mistake on this track, you lose all your momentum, you wind up backwards, you are out of the running.
Yeah, it can be very scary, and as you say, that ice, it is easy occasionally to just gear up and lose. And the bobsleigh, it comes down to a controller difference sometimes as well, action keys for the keyboard players, but it's definitely a little bit easier to make those controller turns on the bobsleigh. So going to be a little bit tough for some of them. 27, low 27, I think the time to target here. That's easily within the top 20 world if you can manage to get that one. But I think anything in the kind of 27 range in rounds formal, that's going to be a time that we can look at and say, yeah, okay, they were pushing it on these bobsleighs.
As we see a 26 come through in warm-up.
Excuse me?
Well, that's something.
No. No. Mertz did not just drive a 26 in warm-up. What?
I know what I saw, all right? I don't know. That, look, if we're seeing 26s come through in warm-ups,
I think I'm misreading times on this one. Look, yeah, 26.6 is a good time. Look, I misread times on it, okay? It happens to the best of us. I was looking at something else, but hey, don't worry about it, okay?
All right, now, you know, I'm not gonna, that makes a lot more sense, because if I thought we were seeing, like, you know, times be broken already, that would be pretty. I think you're looking at our next map, not this one, where you want to get the low 27s. This one, it is about the low 26s. That's what you want to get, and it looks like warm-up is wrapping up. It's going to be some pretty quick fire action, and going into this one, we are underway. It is Germany in blue. It is the Denmark side in red. And as we go through our first ice section, it is looking like pretty good for the Denmark side. Oh, someone bumped off the wall right there. That's a German driver. Mertz in first, Solvigen in second. And if they can hold this one too, especially with Jake Ray in 4, that's going to be an easy point for them.
Yeah, you just got to hold on to those 1-2s. They're pretty handy when you have Jake Ray in the back pocket as well, cruising across these lines. Let's see what the times are. Look, we figured it out. It is going to be a 26.9. Mertz, at least consistency after the warm-up.
Yeah, very strong start right there for the Denmark side. And again, it should be worth noting, this is the map Germany picked, so not necessarily a start that I think Germany was looking for.
No, you definitely want to be winning on it, but we said, look, in the last match, Germany went all the way to round 9 against the French squad, because that's essentially what we're doing right now, is a best of 9 on all of these maps, and they still managed to clutch it out. In the German squad, we've seen that a couple of times from them. They do have the clutch when they need to have it. But here in round 2, they'll want to pick up their first win. You don't want to see daylight between the two teams this early on in the competition. And right now, Germany, they're looking a little bit better, on track for 1-4-5. There go Giuliano, New Prima Laurentius, and they look much better this time around.
Yeah, 26.7, a little bit faster second round around. So Germany starting to bring this one back for Denmark, though. Plenty of time to respond. 0.3 up for grabs. And you see Jake Ray, a little bit of a more inside line, does not pay dividends. Actually, he's going to fall a bit further back behind. And Solvigans as well didn't quite hit the wall, but got a little bit too close for comfort and lost a bit of speed in the process. So there's going to be Giuliano as well as Lorenzius in 1-2 at the moment. That, if they can hold it through this bank, that's going to be another point for Germany. It looks good. They stick the landing, and it's going to be Germany out in front 2-1.
Ooh, after a shaky start to the rounds, they do manage to pull it back together, and now the times are starting to get that little bit lower, well into the 26s. You know, ignore whatever I was saying in the warm-up. Clearly looking at the incorrect times for that one, but hey, right now, Germany, they are pulling together some very solid times, and that's the trick of it, right? Is you don't need to go full risk, but they're risking enough to get where they need to be, and they're doing it with enough players as well that they're getting those 1-2s. They're putting themselves in solid positions in the last couple of rounds, and this time around, we'll see if they can do it again. Once again, you can see it's Jaker just trailing. Mertz is absolutely flying through this one, and with Solly in third as well, this is a chance to upset it, even if it's the German cars. But you can see there's the advantage. All three of them being up, being together, means that as they get there, they'll get the 2-3-4. Solly just a little bit too slow and not able to squeak the third, with a top 45 time for Mertz as well.
Yeah, I mean, you saw right away Mertz was on a screamer from the word go. That line was so tight, so not surprised to see a top 45. And unfortunately, though, the rest of the team not really able to back Mertz up. But if Mertz is feeling that line again, expect them to stay with it. I think this is really where we're going to start to see Denmark push, and now everyone's kind of keeping up with Mertz. It's only Jake Ray who's kind of a little bit back behind, and unfortunately Jake Ray needs to be competing with New Prime, not leading that up to Solve again. So even though Mertz is up there, this is looking like another 1-2 for Germany. Across they go, 26.721, and a point for Germany.
A little bit slower right there, but I mean, it's fast enough, and I think that's the consistency. We're seeing the Germans always in this range, 26-7s, 26-8s coming through for them. It's Giuliano and Lorenzius, but they have the teammate there as well, backing them forward the entire way around. And New Prime, I mean, when they need to be there, they are. That's the important thing, and it's seeming difficult. There's 1 or 2 good times. That was a crash, though, and a crash means that there's a chance here for a point back for the Denmark squad.
Yeah, I think they're going to get it. It was Giuliano who wound up hitting the wall right now. However, 1-4 is still pretty good. But if they can get that 1-3, that's even better. Lorenzius is able to get in front of Solvingen. Meanwhile, in the front, New Prime will come across first. It's a 1-3. Where is the 6? It is coming. It is coming. It is. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Solvigans gets across, and that will do it.
And that was definitely.
It doesn't matter, though, because they had 1-3-5.
Yeah, they have the 1-3. It doesn't particularly matter, but that was definitely a chance for Denmark to capitalize, to try and push this match a little bit longer. But no, it will be taken by Germany, as Denmark just couldn't manage to catch up. And that was a slower round at the very end there, Formal. You know, a lot of the times, even in second, third, we're up in the 27 range instead. But when Denmark aren't able to push that a little bit faster after the mistakes made from Germany, that's why the consistency matters. That's why practice on a map matters. That's why Germany managed to win map 1.
Yeah, but shout out, though, to Meltz Jr., though, cracking that top 45 with that 26.5. That was absolutely insane. So really well done for an opening for this German squad. And again, Germany, they're really good at taking away, their opponent's picks, as mentioned before. So as we go to track 9, this is Denmark's selected track, and you can see a little bit of plastic, a little bit of some engine boost right now to go through the loop, and then you come back through a little bit more plastic. It's not wet, though, so I don't want to hear anybody complaining about it unless they want it to be wet, in which case, yeah, by all means, get us more wet plastic, get us more grass as well across to the finish.
And this time, a low 27 is going to be good for you. Look, there was a little bit of confusion, all right. I mean, the maps were in a slightly different order than I was ready for. We get there, though. But yeah, low 27, going to be an incredible time on this one. And that makes things a little bit easy as we look at the round times come in. We'll be able to say, is it low in the 27s? Is it high in the 27s? Barely even need to look at that first number. As long as it's a 127, or never mind, a 1. So if it's a 127, that's an awful time. If it's a 27, you're feeling okay. You're within a second of a very, very strong time.
I mean, hey, if you see a 127, then you can safely assume that your opponent has taken that round or that we're playing. One of the two. Either way, though, that is going to be Jake Ray coming up across, through the grass. 27.5. There you go. Not quite low enough. Curious what that would have been with a clean ending right there. I feel that if Germany is able to take this map, they probably are going to win this, which would be a little bit of an upset, to be quite frank, coming into this one. Don't get us wrong. Like, Germany, known for super strong Trackmania players, but this arguably might not have been the strongest German team in the past that could have been put together. They've kind of exceeded some expectations to make it to this final, and they're now in a position to go 2-0 up.
They could well be, but I mean, it's going to be very hard to contest the Danish squad on this one. There's some excellent times. We saw 27.5 there just in warm-up with a crash at the end from Jake Ray, and Jake Ray has, a top 9. Is 9th in the world. 27.135 is his PB on this map. So there's a lot of very fast Danish players and a lot of his teammates in touching distance of him. I would expect we're going to see Mertz Jr. and Solly on board for this one as well from the Danish squad, and they're all below that 27.3 mark for this map, and that's impressive. If we see 27-3s in rounds, I'm going to be pretty impressed by these players.
Yeah, well, let's see what we get for our first round right now. Already on our way to the loop. Again, with these short tracks, you blink it, you miss it. Giuliano currently holding that first position, but it will not matter if Jake Ray can hold that 2-3-4. Instead, it's a bit of a crash from the favorite on this track. Giuliano should be able to hold on. Or do they? It's Dunst who comes through at the very end with that 27.3. That's going to be across the finish line first. It's a 1-3. All you need is the 6, and Denmark will get it. There's Jake Ray securing the opening point.
Jake Ray just clipping that checkpoint halfway through the race, but his teammates able to hold on. Dunst with an excellent time, 27.3. There, we said we'd be impressed if it showed up in rounds. Shows up in round 1. Round 1 going to Denmark. And it's just, it's fast, man. It's real fast from these players. And when you have players that fast at the front, it doesn't matter. You're allowed one mistake.
Yeah, that was a super late lunge as well from Dunst as well to put that together. We'll be curious to see if they can do it again. I mean, it's Denmark in that same possession, that 2-3-4 with Giuliano out in front, but unfortunately for the German side, the other members just are not able to keep up. That said, Solvegan actually dropping back towards the end. Giuliano looking to hold it. Jake Ray goes for a different line. It's off the finish line for Giuliano, and that means it's a 1-2-3 for Denmark.
I think Giuliano was aware that maybe there was those players coming up behind from Denmark, was really just trying to make sure that whatever happened, he was going to get the first, because that was the position you had to be in. You had to hope for a risk from Denmark that they were going to crash out on the finish line instead as well. But ultimately, it does mean a crash for Giuliano, a 1-2-3 for Denmark. They're looking strong on the map that they've selected. Although I'm a little worried, Jake Ray's line over that last plastic hump definitely leaves him open to another mistake. We saw it happen in the first round. It came close in this second round. Just keep eyes as we go through that checkpoint.
Yes, we're watching our third round right now into that next loop-de-loop. Everyone very, very tight together. I mean, that's going to be a reoccurring theme. This is the turn where we see momentum get lost consistently from the German side as Lars was falling back alongside New Prime, and all 3 of the Danish members consistent across the finish line, or were they bouncing off the post? It was still able to go in. I think that was Dunst able to kind of salvage that. That could have been a disaster. Instead, it's a 3-0 lead.
Looked like it got almost slightly messy at the end, but it was the 2-3-4. Despite the first place being sniped away, 1-5-6 is not good enough to do it. And the Danes, they're 3-0 up. That's a fair amount of space between these two teams. That's a lot of recovery to be made by the Germans. And 3-0 to start off a map, that starts to feel like a point where you say, yeah, okay, they're practiced on their map. They knew what they were doing when they picked it. Let's look forward to the randoms. Let's start prepping in our heads for what's going to go on the next few.
Now we'll see what they're going to be able to pull off right here. It's Jake Ray. Looks to be getting another one through, and that's just a strong finish for the Denmark side. 1-2-4, 27.3 yet again. This time it's Jake Ray who gets it, and I believe that's the best for this round thus far. I should say for this map thus far. 4-0 lead for Denmark. So consistent. They are 1 away now from the 5-0 sweep.
And they're just making it look easy here on this map. We haven't necessarily seen the fastest map. Denmark not risking full on this. You know, they're not really approaching their PBs of the low 27.1s, the low 27.2s. But we've seen a 27.3, a 27.4 has been fairly consistent for this one. This looks like maybe Germany will actually challenge for it this time around. New Prime will do it. There was a lot of speed lost in the middle from Giuliano, so it's New Prime and Lars will have to do it. But Lars overtaken, and New Prime doesn't hold on to that first place. Will hold on, maybe. It comes down to the finish, and ultimately New Prime does hold on. But it's a 4th and a 6th for Lars and Giuliano. With a 2-3-5, Denmark complete the sweep here on map 9. Map 9.
Yeah, that was map number 9. Again, that order got a little bit mixed up right now, but a strong showing from the Danish side right there. The 5-0 sweep. They do come out on top of this one. But look, Germany had been so good in the past on kind of taking away the picked maps. Not quite able to get this one. That's okay. We've done our short, easy, simple maps. Let's get a little bit more complicated now. Let's go to map 23. I believe that's going to be our next one on board. And just a quick little look on this one between these two sides. I have to admit, Denmark, they could be pretty strong on this one. Dunst just outside the top 50, but Solvagen as well as Jake Ray, I believe they have hit that top 50. Oh, no, sorry. Just Solvagen has hit the top 50 here before. Jake Ray, though, as well as 77. Denmark is super strong on this track.
They definitely are. And if we look at the times on this one, I think we're expecting anything that's a 102. Yeah, that's pretty solid. We're happy with that if you can pull that out in rounds. Even a low 103 could be good as well.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And I'm saying yes, as a consistent side, the Denmark side should be good. But if we're talking about low 102s, New Prime, the 102.32, he is actually probably going to be the fastest person on this track, and he's going to be the one looking to set the pace. So if Germany is going to get a win here, look for it to be around that player in particular. Potentially. I guess we'll wait and see, right? Well, who do you think it's going to be?
Well, no. I do agree, but you know, there is a difference between being very fast on a map in time attack and a difference between managing the consistency on that during free play. And New Prime, I agree, is a very fast player on a lot of these tracks, but we saw on the last map, not always pulling out the consistency on it as well. So I'm going to keep eyes on New Prime absolutely in the first few rounds here. And if he does step up, if he does start carrying through for this German squad, I'll be happy to hold up my hand, say, yeah, all right, this is great.
What you're saying right now, far too reasonable. I need a name. Who's going to beat him? All right, come on.
All right, I mean, look, Sally's just going to carry every single round. It's the first player I saw on screen, so I think that seems fair, right?
All right, yep, that makes sense to me. All right, let's go with that now. It is going to be, I think, a good one for sure, though, as we're getting ready to go. Less than a minute before this warm-up does come to an end. Obviously, a quick little run through this track right now with Jake Ray. A little bit of a bumpy start. Then you have that narrow grass section for up the hill into, I believe, yeah, you got the little jump down. At this stage, it's all about keeping your momentum, keeping your speed, making sure you can keep your line together as you go into that slide.
And then straight into the abyss is that's the next step, right? This is the first time we're seeing Marius subbed in this match. Am I right in saying that? I think we haven't seen Marius yet.
No, we saw. Oh, in this matchup, yes, we did see Marius play.
Yeah. On stream we saw yesterday Marius, but today we're seeing Marius come in for the first time, and Marius, a player who's been around for a long time. I know we talked about it yesterday, but hey, worth mentioning again, has been playing the game for a very long time, and it's nice to see him coming out here in round 3 when the match is tied. Will Marius be the difference maker here in round 1? Someone's going to have to step up, be a difference maker, because there's very little separating these two teams right now. New Prime is the player you've got eyes on, Formula, and already he's out to an early lead.
Yeah, very good start from New Prime, as you can see, already a car's length ahead through that first section. But Solvagen and Jake Ray, they're going to be sticking right with the front runners from the German side. We're going to need to see an overtake, though, because the 1-2 finish would secure it, as we all know. Trust me, we all know. I didn't have producers screaming that in my ear all through that last series. Up that hill we go, sticking it to the curb. It's actually Lorenzis who is in first place right now, with New Prime in second, but with those few car lengths ahead, they can take a more conservative line to get themselves to that finish.
They can definitely do it, and this is where the shot column becomes important. There's a crash from Solly. Players cutting close to that tree. That's a yep tree moment waiting to happen if I've ever seen one, but the gap is just extending for the front two Germans here. It's Lorenzius and New Prime. It looks like they've done it, as long as there's no mistakes. You can slide out still here at the end, but you don't necessarily expect these players to be doing that. That's an easy weave slalom to the finish. New Prime and Lorenzius, they take down the 1-2. Marius down in 5th.
Yeah, as we do see a 103.45, and a very, very strong time right there. If I'm not mistaken, that was like, did I hear 80? Top 80 on that one?
Yeah, that's a very solid time. Like we said, 102 is not just a good time, 102 is an excellent time. And these players in round 1 already looking dangerously close to doing it. This time, though, a better start for the Denmark squad.
Yeah, they're sticking right with those front runners right now. New Prime again kind of leading the charge for Germany, but it's Jake Ray in first place until they went a little bit wide outside of that turn. And now Solvigen, who was actually the slowest Denmark member, had the lead for a bit. Jake Ray's able to take it back, but look at this later lunge from New Prime and Laurentius, able to keep that momentum through up the hill. It's Laurentius who actually kept most of it, but kind of had a wide angle, so New Prime is the one who will retake the lead. The more important side, though, 1-2 right now. Jake Ray doing their best to try and break it up with Solvigen waiting behind, but you kind of need both of those members up there. Solvigen very wide, loses a lot of time, and now all what Germany needs to do is keep it clean.
They just need to keep it clean because the 1-3 will still be good enough. And Marius, if he's clever, will have been calling this entire race like, look, it's only one Danish player is up there contesting. Jake Ray will manage to split the Germans, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it's a 102.8. Lorenzia slipped back to, just a 103.29. But my God, New Prime, that's insane to be driving in rounds.
Yeah, it's crazy because they get these car lengths leads, so we go under the assumptions like, okay, they're going to be taking more conservative lines, and with our eyeballs, it looks conservative, and it's like, oh no, that was actually a top 60
Still
time.
Insanely fast.
Okay, yeah, sure, that makes sense. A conservative top 60 from New Prime. The driver I said to look out for, that one Noah Leok did not believe me about, putting forth great times right now for this German squad.
I said I'd hold my hands, and New Prime is showing he's got the consistency to deliver those low times as well, and it's through that no break section repeatedly that the Germans do seem to be extending the lead. New Prime and Laurentius, Marius as well, just seem to be that little bit faster. They can hold the speed a little bit better, gives them the advantage into this back half of the map. As we head down towards the last few turns, it is a lead, a 1-2. New Prime and Marius, they're holding onto it by the narrowest of margins right now. Jake Ray has managed to squeeze into a first place. A 2-3-5 would still do it for the Germans. Solly is really the only threat to them unless Laurentius gets overtaken from behind, and that is maybe the last threat. As we head towards the last bit, it looks like that battle for last place is going to be incredibly tight. 3-5-2-3. Who gets the fifth? It is Dunst who manages to make the overtake happen through the final section, and an incredible time for Jake Ray is what carries his team. That first was vital. The fifth was just as important, though.
Top 25 time for Jake Ray. Late lunge in the back from, I believe that was Dunst, and what a point for Denmark to collect for themselves. They're starting to bring themselves right back in this matchup, and now with that confidence, let's see how they attack this track, and attack, definitely that key word. Everyone just right on the apex of each of these corners, trying to keep that momentum right now. And oh no, that was Laurentius dropping back a bit, hits a second wall as well, and that's going to be their round done and dusted. Pressure on Marius as well as the other rest of the side as they do try to stick with this.
Oh, they're still within touching distance, those Laurentius, and so if things work out, there's still a chance for mistakes here at the very end, but I think we're going to see a Danish win here on this round. Marius looks like he might be out of range of that first and second, and has to release there as well, going through that checkpoint, just taking it a little bit too wide. So I think we're potentially looking at a 2-3-4, maybe a 2-3-5. Marius, though, really risking on that last corner, takes it very tightly. He is carrying a little bit more speed. Dunst touches. Now the 2-3 is on, but is the 2-3-5 Laurentius? Revenge. The fifth gets sniped away. And a 1-4-5 will take it for the Germans, reversing it on the Danish.
You called that one. I thought Laurentius was out of that round, but is able to recover and bring it back. A great fifth place. And again, it's another top 80 time out at the top right now with that 2.7 or 102.7. So definitely seeing these players risk it all, and that's what you would expect from a grand final once we get to the random maps. At the moment, you can see the difference in the lines right now as the team in red goes for the inside. Meanwhile, the Germans on the outside in blue, still hitting the apexes through these tight corners. It is New Prime again out in front, but Laurentius able to keep that momentum, is surging up ahead. This could be another cracker of a time.
It could be impressive. It's 1-2 at the moment for the Germans, but we've seen these races come down to the last turn a couple of times now. I think with the 1-2 and the 3 as well, you're maybe feeling a little bit better, but with Dunster so close, Solly, I think, did he hit the wall? No, forced to release all the way. I'm not sure if the tree got in the way, whatever it was. It's a 1-4 now. It's looking like a 1-4-5 as the Danish are trying to hold on. They're hoping for Laurentius mistake in the last bit of slide out. Jake Ray and Dunster chasing. Laurentius just get across that line. Make sure you get that first. There's a 4th. Where's the 5th? It's going to be Marius with the 5th place. Solly just a little bit too far back after that mistake, and it's a second 1-4-5 in a row for the Germans. And honestly, Formal, after round 3, after the incredible time by the Danish squad, followed by the tight win at the back, I thought the Germans had let it slip, but they seem to have regained after scraping it back in the last round themselves, and they're looking strong to take this one down right now.
I'm a little bit disappointed in Denmark and how they kind of made a couple mistakes that allowed it would look like to me a little bit of a easier run at the end for Laurentius, because it looked like Laurentius was putting together a massive time before they kind of eased up at the end. At the moment, though, Jake Ray is actually the one out in front. And it's been a while since we've seen one of the Danish cars in first place at the moment, but the big fight right now is happening in that middle of the pack, because with Solvingans in the back, you need to get at least that 1-3, and with New Prime once again in the lead, that would do it for this one. Jake Ray keeps things so tight on that inside. The momentum is not quite there yet. Now a car length ahead. New Prime goes wide, is able to recover it, keep that speed moving forward. Again, as long as Solvingans is in the back, you need that 1-3, and I just don't see anyone getting in front of New Prime. Dunce as well as Jake Ray, they're trying to catch up, but they're not going to catch him. It's going to be the 1-4-5 again. That is how Germany takes the second map.
Whoo! That's how you do it. Consistently top 50 driven there in that map, and I mean, consistency I think really was the name of the game there for the Germans, because a 1-4-5, I mean, their back half was losing a little bit to the Danish. You know, the Danish were posting some incredibly strong times. I mean, look, Jake Ray had a 1-2-5 in that map. But ultimately, the Danish were usually just having one player drop a little bit too far back, and especially in kind of rounds 4, 5, 6 there. And that's what allowed the Germans, who were just keeping all the cars on track, to come out on top in the end.
Yeah, very well done for the German side. 2-1 lead for them at the moment, as we are going to be going, I believe, to map 18 for our next go. Warming up right about now. This one could be a fun one for Germany when it comes to map 18. Should be worth noting that, give me one moment right here, like get my notes in line. Again, New Prime, super strong on this map, but again, for other members, they may have struggled a little bit more, so I don't know if this is going to be the strongest showing for Germany.
In theory, as a team, this is Germany's weakest map. This is definitely, you know, as you say, New Prime incredibly strong on this, is 19th in the world on it. But other than that, looking down the rest of the team, they're generally losing out in terms of PB to the Danish teams. And I think that isn't necessarily a reflection on the quality of the players, that maybe they couldn't do this map. I think it probably just speaks to the fact that it looks like the Germans maybe haven't practiced this map as much. And that could show in this round. I think that's what we'll potentially see, is maybe a few more crashes from the German squad than from the Danish squad as we look through the rounds.
And meanwhile, when you look at that Danish squad, again, Jake Ray, who's already putting on, you know, top 25 times coming into this one with the top 13 time on this track as well. So it's going to be someone to look out for. Also curious to see if we're going to see Pro Por Uno Gamer, a.k.a. one Mertz Jr. get subbed in, who also has a top 20 time, currently sitting at 16 coming into this. So on paper, this should be a victory for the Denmark team. 35 seconds away from kicking this one off. What happens on paper, though, and what happens on the track, Noah, it's two different things. It's all about how you perform right now. And after losing that last round, you never know. Maybe some mental effects, maybe some lacks of confidence that could see Germany continue their momentum.
Absolutely. And especially just with the fact that you kind of lost to consistency. You were still posting some really fast times on the last track as Denmark, but Germany were still picking up the wins. I think those are the kind of rounds that it's the hardest to lose, at least for me in ranked, right? Is when you're posting a really fast time and your teammates just aren't quite getting across the line in the places they need to be as well. That feels the worst. But we'll see. I mean, Denmark, they'll need to clutch up. Germany definitely clutched up after the last round when Denmark had a couple of really fantastic rounds. Germany, they're kind of the underdogs coming into this map. Let's see if it shows in how they play the track.
Yeah, we'll see at the moment. Right out of the gates, New Prime is the one who makes the first mistake. And that's kind of what we were talking about. But maybe on the other side, Germany with a little bit of a slip up right now. And actually, everyone's kind of making mistakes. So we've got a fight up for first place right now. And then the rest of the pack just scattered all over the place. Jake Ray and Lars going at it in the front, but you can see as those times come through, seconds in between 4th and 5th. Lars and Jake Ray, though, will be kind of chasing each other towards the end.
It'll be just a straight drag race to the finish line between Lars and Jake Ray, but after them, it's going to be behind them. It's going to be incredibly difficult, obviously, on this wet plastic, you know, so a lot of jumps. It's hard to stay consistent on this maps in general, but it will be Lars who takes it down. Giuliano to do it as well. Just need to see a finish now from their teammate. Will we get another German car across the line? It's going to take a little while. 12 seconds left for it to be done. There's New Prime. 8 seconds behind the lead. It's not the fastest time in the world. A mid 52. We were kind of saying a 51 is a good time. But ultimately, Germany managed to win out. And that's not exactly, I think, what we were expecting in terms of how practiced these two teams looked on the map in theory, Formal.
No, it definitely wasn't what we were expecting, but with this map in particular, where those fast lines are so risky, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple more runs like that. And because of the nature of a grand final, you're going to want to push, you're going to want to push, you're going to want to push, and consistency is really going to be that determining factor, assuming everyone continues to go for these incredibly tight lines. We'll see where we go from here. I almost wonder if it's not a bad strategy just to have one driver kind of take the more conservative line and collect the scraps. You could argue that could be what Jake Ray is doing actually right here, right now for the Denmark side.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all. I think that could be the play. New Prime has dropped back a little bit towards Jake Ray as well up front. Giuliano is holding a lead, and Lars is a second and a half behind the next car in front
crash
of him.
out.
Yeah, so was relying on that crash out, but unfortunately for them, it was one of the teammates who did it. So Denmark, they'll take the 1-2 on this map, and now they're tied back up. This is maybe a little bit more what we expected from the Danish squad coming in.
And Jake Ray definitely was playing that safer line as well. I mean, we saw it taking the middle line as opposed to the faster outside line because of that less risk just to collect the scraps, which we saw at the end. Giuliano crashes out. It secures the win for the Danish side. This is definitely one of those tracks where that strategy is going to come into play as we kick off our next point. Still tied 1-1, obviously, at the moment. Jake Ray this time a little bit more aggressive out in front at the moment. So I guess it's someone else's turn to take the conservative line as we go through the pool. It's looking pretty good for the Germans, actually. They retake that lead as we see Jake Ray fall back.
Mom said it's my turn on the racing line, but the Germans, unfortunately, they're taking their turn. There's a crash from Giuliano. Yep, pole gets in the way, and I thought we got rid of the poles in the Swiss stage, but no, apparently they're still here. Lars and New Prime are up front looking for a 1-2, 1-3. Mertz is really the only player that plays spoiler to that right now, barring a couple of crashes, and I will not bar out a couple of crashes yet on this track. Jake Ray just carrying speed, has overtaken New Prime, but New Prime comes roaring back with a lot of pace, and Mertz might have found a way into a first position. It might be a 1-4. It's a 1-3. Jake Ray on the line by less than 2/100ths of a second. Sniped the third place away from Lars.
Ooh, yeah, that is insane. To be specific, 6,000ths of a second separating third and fourth, and that was the difference on the point in this round. Well done to the Denmark side. This is now feeling like a grand final, Noah. That's just what I was hoping for as we kick off our next point. Again, Jake Ray is always so fast out of the gate, but then seemed to lose that momentum across the middle section. Meanwhile, New Prime is on an absolute screamer of a start, getting multiple car lengths up ahead. Not the flattest landing, but still kept a good chunk of momentum. Problem is, look at 2, 3, and 4. It's all the Danish side, and if they keep this up, they're going to take this point regardless.
The Danish cars literally inside each other. There's a pole. That's a crash out. Mertz is still stuck there and knows that the line is bad. That'd be a full respawn, so forced to do the 3-point turn, and now you're relying on someone managing to overtake New Prime, and Jake Ray somehow has managed to catch back up, and Jake Ray really needs to get this finish out of New Prime right now, who's taking a wider line in New Prime. We've seen this line give him more speed towards the finish before. This time around, it looks like the speed might be enough. Who gets there first? It's Jake Ray just across the line. Again, the gap is less than 200ths, and Mertz saved, blushes by his teammates. He has 13 seconds. He has plenty of time to get there, surely, doesn't he? 10 seconds left to get to that line. 9, 8, 7 seconds, 6, cutting it close, but Mertz will scrape across the line with just seconds to spare, and the hero of that round absolutely going to be Jake Ray up front, stealing the win away from New Prime.
Jake Ray coming in so clutch right there. Exactly what this Denmark side needed. And I mean, they've been relying on it, although someone looks like they may have crashed out at the start right there. Was that Jake Ray? No, it wasn't Jake Ray. It was Dunst, actually, who had a bit of an oops at the start, already 2 seconds back, but so too was Lars. So already 2 errors, seeing 2 cars in the back of the pack right now, Dunst and Lars. And I wouldn't be surprised if this actually determines who wins it, because in the front right now, it's looking like it could be a 1-4. Mertz Jr. finally able to fight for a first place on a round with New Prime right on him, but so too is Giuliano, who has had some consistency issues already, staying with it for now as we move into our final sections.
I'm thinking 145 is looking like the place to be, unless New Prime can take a little bit more speed through that last one. No, he's fallen back, in fact, and it'll be a 1-2 for the Danish team as they lock this one up. Mertz and Jake managed to get it done at the front with a 52-1. Not a bad time, faster than some of the rounds we've seen for sure.
Yeah, and pretty good for Mertz to finally be able to actually get one of those more solid times. I believe that's the first round win on this track for Mertz, so well done right there. More importantly, though, round point in favor of the Denmark side. A chance to tie this series up once again at 2-all. It's all about these starts, it feels like, for the Denmark team. They've been so strong out of the gate. Again, Jake Ray's there, but this time Giuliano actually right alongside them. So too is Dunst, who goes a little bit wide on that outside, and New Prime keeps all of that momentum again through this. We've seen this in the past, though. New Prime gets these massive lunges of speed, but then it's all 3 members right behind him.
Yeah, literally this exact turn has been the exact same before. We saw a crash there last time, though, and this time it's all being kept clean. And the 2, 3, 4 looking like it could be carried. 5 and 6, well, they're 2 seconds back from the Danes. If they're smart, they're not risking it all. You just drive this one to the finish. This is a victory lap for Denmark on this map right now. You don't have to worry about New Prime. He's irrelevant to how this map goes right now. It'll be kept clean by the Danish teams. I'm not expecting them to set the world alight. Lars just touches one more time for good measure. Giuliano overtaking his teammate. Woo! What a time, what a win. That's a very good time. That's a top 80 from New Prime, who breaks 51. But we said it. New Prime's time was not going to be what made or broke that round. It really was just about the Danes keeping it clean in the middle. And they do so. They'll take the map.
And really well done from the Danish side. We knew this map was going to be about consistency, and we saw the shot calling really for the Denmark team on point. It's particularly on that last map where they were able to just sort of straighten themselves out. They wouldn't take those risky lines. They kept it together as we are moving right along to map 22. I believe, if my math is correct. Yep, this is the 5th map, map 22, which means ice.
It means ice. Oh boy. And I love this map 4 rounds as well, because that ice quarter pipe jump at the start is one that you can definitely mess up. It's a kind of a soft identity, I want to call it. I mean, it's not as hard at all as the TMGL identities, but it definitely is one that can kind of make or break a race. There's a couple of different lines you can take through it, and a lot of different ways you can come out of it with speed, and we'll definitely see some of the players, I think, crash out there if the early rounds have been anything to go by, as these players are risking it all in the grand final.
Yeah, and that's definitely been sort of that like key right now. It's just how risky are players willing to get if they are going to be towing that line, if they are going to be pushing. We're going to be looking for times around that 55-second mark. Those are going to be those bangers that we're going to be hoping to see. But if you want to play it more consistent, we'll see more, of course, in that 56 range, which, I mean, that is how Denmark won that last round. Do they really feel that need to keep pushing? I'm hoping so, because I love that push. And when you look at Denmark on this track in the past, I mean, it's not one of their strongest.
It's definitely not, but also, I don't think it's one of Germany's strongest either. This is quite a little bit of a difficult one. We've been told by production that we are expecting these players to take that, J-Nick nicely illustrating, take that side flip in the jump, which just gets you that landing a little bit quicker, gets you accelerating a little bit earlier, and accelerating earlier means you hit higher top speeds. It's just faster, Formal. It just means you go fast.
That is true. Also, I'm just going to want to point out something. I was looking at the wrong track times before. 22, yeah, no, this is definitely not one of Germany's strongest tracks at all, but this could be a good track again for Mertz Jr., who is starting to pick up a bit more momentum as we go. Also, we're seeing Nick get subbed in as well for that side, so it'll be interesting to see how J-Nick does go.
Yeah, definitely will be. Interesting to see how that one does go. I have someone waving at me through a window, but it's okay. They figured out what they need to do. Yeah, I did wave back.
Invite them on.
It's my brother. And no, he's gone now. I'm sorry. You don't get to see Noah brother today.
Well, that is disappointing on so many levels. I guess we'll have to start off this round instead.
I guess we'll have to get into round 1 instead here. Map 22. We'll see how it goes. Look, I'm hoping we get to see a couple of barrel rolls, but it's not necessarily the most likely. Before we even get there, we are going to have to get through this quarter pipe jump. We're going to have to get around the first turn. Mertz carries so much speed early on that ice slide. High line means he'll be carrying a lot of speed at the other side, but New Prime and Giuliano lower lines means they're there. Here comes the quarter jump. It's 3 Germans behind Mertz Jr. I believe everyone managed to land it. No, there's been a couple of slide outs there potentially, as New Prime and J-Nick are fighting neck and neck there with Lars just behind them. And Mertz's player who's really come out the big winner on that one.
Yeah, Mertz is just pulling so far ahead. I actually expect him to ease up as Lars goes into the tree. That's a bit unfortunate. So a lot of unforced errors across the board to start off this first round right now. As I've seen many people say in the chat already, first round doesn't count. We'll tell that to the scoreboard and tell that to the team that's currently going 1-2. That is Denmark. Ooh. If J-Nick can hold on to it, a desperate lunge from New Prime. It was a wide angle. It's not going to do it. Mertz and J-Nick get across. 56.286 is insane.
It's a very good time. When we consider that they're not taking the ramp cut, when we consider they're not taking the kind of barrel roll jump attempt that they could be making, it means that, yeah, these players are driving essentially the best that is available to them on the lines they're taking. And the lines they're taking are the ones that are consistent for rounds. You can't blame them for that. And Denmark, they just look fast in round 1.
They looked very fast, and we'll be curious to see if they're going to be able to keep that momentum going again. This Denmark side, they were the winners of that last round. You would think they would be feeling very confident. Mertz Jr. in particular started to pick up their times at the end of that last round now on a track that they are strong at, looking to go back-to-back round winners. Giuliano! Oh, that's a big crash.
And here's the 1-2-3 for Denmark as a result. Giuliano so far back on the pack, as New Prime chasing as well. It's going to be Lars, though, incredibly fast through that. J-Nick chasing. Here goes J-Nick off the ramp. That's, a little bit slow. And we'll see a lot of people overtake it to 1-2. Jake Ray and Mertz, they'll land a little bit cleaner, but Lars not landing particularly cleanly either. This race has gone a little bit to the dogs, as it's going to be just all over the place up towards the finish line. I think we'll still see decent times come out of these cars, but a few crashes in the middle there definitely shook up the face of the race as we went through.
But the important thing for Denmark, 1-2 yet again. This time it's Mertz Jr. with Jake Ray, and that is what they need to keep banging out. 57.033, so not quite as fast as the first round, but it didn't really need to be with the chaos that was happening everywhere. Denmark out in front now, 2-0. Consistent results in the front of the pack as well. They're not the team that's crashing out. Giuliano just needs to keep it on the track.
Absolutely. I think I'm going to look to be picked up as a coach for the next TSCC, and my entire advice is going to be, hey, don't crash. It's faster, guys. Unless there's a map where it is faster. I mean,
that's defensive driving that you're trying to coach right now. For me, I'm like, just drive faster. That's my coaching. Just drive faster.
Excellent advice. Hey,
and look at Giuliano listening to me.
Yeah, just drives faster right now. Giuliano manages to keep the speed out there, but not as well as Mertz Jr. does. Rotates back a little bit faster. Giuliano has gotten the car underneath him, though. Is accelerating through this turn. Ice slide coming up. Who manages to get this speed? J-Nick very low through that one. J-Cray is a little bit higher, but could be carrying more speed than other people. Has a little bit of an inside line. Yeah, there goes J-Cray, overtaking Lars through the jump almost. But Lars is keeping the speed on the downhill, and some nice wiggles coming through from these players as they attempt to pick up the speed. Going towards our last turn. Giuliano leads the race. Mertz Jr. just behind. This could be Germany looking to pick it up. It'll come down to Jake Ray versus Lars. Jake Ray with the inside line towards it. Jake Ray has the speed, and Jake Ray will not manage to get it done, though, because it's still a 1-4-5. Giuliano, Lars, and New Prime get it done. Will take a point back for themselves.
Oh, but you can't knock the consistency still from the Denmark side. Jake Ray's late lunge. It was close. Not quite close enough, though. Finally, we do get to see Germany get one in their favor. Let's see if they're going to be able to keep riding on that. Giuliano looking a lot better that last round. This time, again, trying to go toe-to-toe with Mertz Jr., who was just so smooth through those ice pipes and then hits the post. A little bit of a caster curse, perhaps. Exactly not what Denmark needed.
What have you done, Formal? Mertz finds a pole on the side of the track, just risking a little bit more than maybe before. A little bit too wide on the slide. And we'll end up clipping that pole, sliding out in Germany. They're in a strong position when you have 3 cars up front like this. There's 1 car in the mixture. Jake Ray, the imposter on this one. Red's a bit sus, but it doesn't matter, as you just need to play it safe to the finish line. In Germany, they'll tie the map back up. In Denmark, it was looking like a chance for them to finally get their nose. That was Jake Ray. That's fine. That's a 1-2-3. It was looking like a chance, maybe finally, for Germany to drop behind, for Denmark to it was looking like Denmark might finally get ahead in the match. Excuse me, Formal. That they might finally manage to take it, because it's been Germany taking the lead, Denmark equalized, and Germany took the lead, Denmark equalized. Denmark had the chance to get ahead with this map. It's back to 2-2.
It is, and with that ace as well, you have to think Germany is feeling in control at this stage right now. They've kind of figured out this track. It took them a couple extra turns, and with the pressure being put on Denmark, we're seeing very odd mistakes, I feel like, in more unusual parts of the track. We'll see if they're going to see a cleaner, safer lap coming from the Denmark side. I mean, well, maybe not, though, because Mertz Jr. loves just sending it right at the start. Through the half pipe, though, this is where runs are made and broken. And for Jake Ray, what a recovery. It wasn't the cleanest in the world, but for J-Nick and New Prime, they've got a lot of catching up to do.
They've got some ground to cover if they want to get back involved, but we've seen it before. 5th place can be all important in deciding these rounds, and right now it looks like maybe it could be as a 2-3 for the German squad, a 1-4-5. It could be that 5th place that decides it. So J-Nick and New Prime, they need to keep their foot on the gas. They need to keep accelerating. Mertz Jr. out in front. Giuliano and Lars chasing at the moment. They're looking safe for this to just be the 1-2-3. Jake Ray still down in 4th. Let's have a look at the 5th, 6th. That's where it's going to be decided. Oh, there was another crash on the wall there. Who crashed? I saw them for the briefest.
I think that was the finish line.
That was the finish line. It's fine. New Prime gets across in the 5th place ultimately, and that does mean Germany find the 2-3-5. I got baited by the swap to the car that was crossing the finish line.
Yeah, I know. I got baited for a second there as well. You know, you sit on the edge and you see a car hit a tree, and you lose your mind. But no, that was just, you know, that's just how you finish on a track like this. As well as finishing Germany 3 points now in a row, back out in front in this very important map right now. Again, you win this one, you get that 3-2 lead. This time, though, it is going to be Denmark with that 1-2 start, or at least they had it till Giuliano and New Prime were able to take that inside line, hold on to it, and for the first time in a little while, we don't see Mertz 3 car lengths ahead, only 2 car lengths this time, as Jake Ray, again, goes with the line that gets himself completely backwards landing. I don't see anyone else doing that. It's very unusual, at least in terms of this round, and J-Nick again in the back.
I think we'll guess that the backwards landing is probably not an intentional line on this one, but New Prime and Giuliano and Lars, they definitely seem to have gotten their eye in. Lars, now that he's managed to cut the crashing out, now that he's got those wiggles going on down across that ice where he can really build up some speed heading up into this down reactor, well, the German consistency seems to be carrying them towards a match point on this map. 2-3-4 in the cards on this round. It will be match point for the Germans after they take 4 in a row, despite dropping the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, another 56.4 for Mertz. That's the second time in a row they're able to put that time on the board, but not enough for the rest of the team to follow it up, as unfortunately for Denmark, this track just getting the better of them. Germany 1 point away from getting themselves a late lead in our grand final.
Oh, and this has been the way of the match so far. It's been Germany getting around, Denmark coming back. Germany get around, Denmark come back. Looking like Germany to get another round, to put themselves in front for the 3rd time in this match. Mertz is really the player doing everything within his power to try and stop that from happening. But this time, Lars is up and contesting. Lars taking a very high jump. That's been the line he's taken all match long. Going very high into the jump. And Mertz, you can see how much better that line was for them, as Mertz is way out in front. But again, the 2-3-4. This time, Denmark are contesting it, though. They're much more in the mix back here.
J-Nick was trying to send that inside line, but just couldn't keep that momentum going, and Jake Ray looks well and truly out of it, so that puts pressure on J-Nick right now, because Mertz Jr. is going to win this one, assuming they can keep it on the track. J-Nick needs to find a way to get ahead, at least of a couple members right now. New Prime is the one that he's going to be looking to chase down, but that's not going to happen. 2-3-4 again for Germany.
2-3-4, and that'll mean a 3rd map win for Germany as well. They'll take the lead in the match, not yet on match point. This is a best of 9. This is going to be very, very strong for the German side.
This could be where we start to see those risks come through for Denmark. This is where we could start to see those flips.
Yeah, it definitely could be. Map 25 we'll head to next, though, as Germany do manage to win map 18. And map 25, hey, the last map of the campaign. What an exciting one to have as Germany try to find themselves a match point in this game.
This track is such a tricky one. I mean, obviously, when it's map 25, and it's a water track as well, it's going to be, I think, a tougher one. It's one of the longer tracks that we have, so we could see some very crazy variancy inserted these times. And again, I think it's going to be similar to what we saw before, where it's all about that sort of consistency that comes through. Although it looks like we're not going to 25, we could be going to 15.
I believe, yeah, it is 25. No, we're good. We're just setting it up. It's okay. Just a brief little bit. I
got scared. I saw 15 come up. I remembered the start of this grand final, and I was thinking, oh no, are we gonna go to a different map again?
Scrambling. Are we left scrambling for stats again, Formal? No, it's fine. We're getting there. We're getting there. Don't worry.
I'm always worried. That's my secret. I have no. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat. I'm like. I won't go into too much details actually about what's happening behind the scenes. That's probably not a good idea, but all you need to know is we're having fun. Fun is good. Fun is great. And you know who's having a lot of fun right now? Germany, because they're leading.
Germany, yeah, but you can't feel too safe because, again, if history repeats itself, and I mean, history doesn't always repeat, but it does rhyme a lot of the time, and Germany, they're looking to maybe get equalized on again by Denmark, because that's been the way of things. Is Denmark, sure, they drop a map, but they come back swinging, not swimming in the next one. There will be a bit of swimming in this map. I don't know if 25 is the map for them to do it on, though. Germany are pretty strong on this one, but definitely not the strongest.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing of this one is always keeping that momentum and making sure that you stay in those high gears. Whenever you accidentally drop that gear coming through some of those corners with the wet tires on the plastic, you lose so much momentum, and it's going to be so critical to keep that momentum moving forward. So as we do watch this track, it's important that we do keep note on who is keeping that momentum, who is dropping off, because the second you drop that gear, it could cost you a place and it could cost you a point.
Yeah, we've seen so often, even in these last rounds, how important those lower places are. The 1-2s, the 1-3s, definitely not coming through as much as they did in some of the quarterfinals and semifinals that we saw on stream. As it's tied at the top, and it being tied at the top means that it stays tied at the bottom as well. Whatever happens, we're into round one here.
That we are wet plastic. I've been calling for this 2 days in a row. I finally get my wish. Good old map 25. And it's Solvingans, a.k.a. Soli, who's off to a good start with Mertz Jr., who has been getting stronger and stronger with each map. It seems like now they're going to take the lead, and this is a good start for Denmark.
I said the 1-2s hadn't been coming through as often as we saw, but Denmark, they're sitting in a 1-2 right now. Janick overtakes into a 5th place as well. No speed at all on Giuliano. Means he's going to be a long way off the pace in this map. Mertz and Soli, they're fighting for 1-3 right now. Lorenzi's a little bit faster through the corners at the moment, but Soli gets the water bends a little bit better. High on the wall for Mertz, carries a lot of speed into the loop as Soli is chasing down Marius right now. The 1-2 looked like it was off. Maybe the 1-2's back on as Marius is looking to hold on to this one. Ooh, Soli went a little bit high. Lorenzi's got a little bit wide as they're taking very different lines. It's resulted in very little change other than Lorenzi's creeping up on that back wing of Soli, and Soli much lower through the jump and bounces in the water. That's incredibly important for this race, as Lorenzius is now in second. In third is Marius, and we're heading towards this finish line. It looks like it'll still be 4-5, and that mistake from Lars right at the very start is what ends, or Giuliano, excuse me, the mistake from Giuliano right at the very start is what ends up costing Germany.
I want to give credit, though, to Lorenzius, though, on that run, because they were behind. They were taking such tight angles, and they were able to bring it back, so really well done. Doesn't give them the point, though. First point does go to the Danish side. However, Germany, they're strong on that back half of this track. Don't be surprised if they start to claw back in this one.
They definitely could, and we'll be looking at Giuliano not to make a mistake, because we know he's a fast driver. We know he can get involved in this as well, and mistakes are so costly on a map like this, where every little bit of speed, every gear is hard to come by. You can't be afforded to drop them at crucial times on the map, and that is really what happened to Giuliano with the crash last time around. Just couldn't really regain the speed at any point, finished a long way behind.
Yeah, that's why it is important to keep those gears in line, as we're watching a pretty late lunge from Marius on that inside. Actually gets him a couple positions, everyone up high to keep that momentum going. That's how you keep that gear as we go across the loop right now. Marius look for that tight inside, really sliding into first place. Soli taking it a little bit more conservative, lost the lead as Lorenzius as well. A late lunge, so 2 late lunges coming from the German side. They were sitting 2-3 though, because somehow it was still Sully holding that lead through this last water section. The 1-4-5 will be enough. One turn away. Mertz Jr. a late lunge going for the 1-2. It's actually Lorenzius who takes the first place away. 1-3-6. That one goes to Germany.
And there was a crash from Giuliano in the back half that went unremarked on again. And so 2-3-5 will take it for Denmark. Giuliano, once again, just not consistent enough on the map, just crashing out in the middle section. And that does mean that Denmark find themselves with 2 points here. As there was speed at the end, the late lunge from Mertz looking like it was going to secure them just the 1-3 easy victory. Held onto by Germany, but a 1-4 wasn't good enough to get it done.
I was looking at the wrong times. I was looking at the bottom and not the top where the actual results were. My apologies, everybody. I got too excited because those late lunges were absolutely critical. And if we're going to see more of these come down to those tight moments at the end, my goodness, I don't know if my poor heart can take it at the moment. Giuliano, though, has a very nice lead, but for how long? Because there are 3 cars right behind putting that pressure on, including from their own team. Lorenzius actually trying to claw up there to get that 1-2. It's only Sully looking to break it up, but with Mertz Jr. going for more of an inside line, gets right up high. I don't know how that wheel stayed on the track, but that momentum is able to keep Mertz Jr. ahead. Right now, it is 1-2 in favor of the Denmark side.
Yeah, but Mertz has been so clean on that line. It's this turn that favored the Germans, though. And now coming into the plastic, this has really been teams neck and neck going into these last few corners every time. And right now, it's maybe a 1-3. It looks like as Lorenzius and Giuliano seem to have maybe found that. We'll see when we come out of the water. And the names right there, another crash. Giuliano, you can't afford these. 2-3. Where's 4? Sully comes in 4th. And it was a second behind, but a second behind doesn't matter when it's still in 4th place.
2, 3, 4 for Denmark, and they get themselves right back in it. Late crash, a bit of a disaster, and this is Denmark running away with this map. Low key, they have not let Germany get a single point yet.
And that was... You say that. I think, look, Giuliano had it in their own hands there. You just needed to not crash, and that's been 3 rounds and 3 crashes from Giuliano, and arguably 3 crashes that, you know, I mean, every little second counts, but 3 crashes that if Giuliano hadn't made, I think Germany were in a position to win the round. So it's still there for Germany, I think, is really the upside of that. It's not that they're just losing on pace, they're losing on mistakes. Mistakes can be fixed in rounds.
Well, this is not a good start for Mertz Jr., who has been kind of that front runner for the Denmark side, already second down on this next point. That said, J-Nick, who's usually been the back runner, currently up front with Marius right now. So we've kind of flipped the running order for this round in particular. Marius actually a couple car lengths ahead. That translates to 0.2 of a second. That's going to be a tough claw back, but a mistake on the back end sees Sully move up into P4. And with that momentum, might be able to catch Giuliano as well. A 2-3-5 as Mertz Jr. has moved back up into 5th place would be enough for another point for the Denmark side. Coming out of the water, Sully keeps it in track, but that line was a bit too wide. Won't be able to make the late pass. Marius comes in first as well, so this should be a point going to the Germans.
Hey, what did I tell you? Giuliano keeps it clean and Germany immediately win the round. It's just that easy. It's Giuliano getting the 3rd place. Marius getting a very impressive 1st place as well. And Germany, yeah, they find the round back. And it's what I was asking for, Formal, right? You fix the mistakes, you're going to come out on top. And I have to say, I'm loving the water turn right at the end when the names all disappear over the cars. And you're like, oh God, who's going to come out in front at the very end of this track?
Yeah, I find that interesting. It's tricky. It makes our job tricky, but it makes things more exciting when we see who pops up and who pops up ramming into the post of the checkpoint. Like, that's also fun as well. As we go over the bounce, it is Giuliano once again out in front, looking to keep things clean. Mertz Jr. this time back out on that front runners as well. But, oh, that's a lot of momentum from both Lorenzius and Marius as well. Going on that inside line. There we go. Marius up into P2. 1-2 currently for Germany. They're going to be looking to hold on to this one. Mertz Jr. actually dropping right on back. Look, they have made a mistake in that back line, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on the Sully, who, had to straighten out, loses a bit of momentum there, but then regains it. It's a fast lunge, but that angle, it's a bit too tough to maintain.
That's the problem. This isn't like F1 or something where if you go down the inside, the opponents have to give you space. Nice little water bends there. You love to see it. If you go down the inside, all that's going to happen is that you lose speed on the exit and you see your opponents vanishing off into the distance. And the distance it was here for Germany, they'll go the distance, scoring an ace here. 1, 2, 3 on the scoreboard. And it's another round win for Germany when Giuliano doesn't make a mistake.
victory for them, as I believe the rainstorm that is happening here in the subtropics affected my stream a little bit. All right, I'm back. Good, just in time for the kickoff of this next round. I was getting worried, but we're there. Nonetheless, I'll let you take the start of this one.
Yeah, classic Southern Hemisphere rainstorm moment, really getting in the way of esports. Who said the weather can't have an effect? I think that was a crash already for someone in this track. It looked like someone may have just bounced off an inside wall. We'll wait and see if that was in fact the case. But right now it's a 1-3-4 for Giuliano, Lorenzius, and Marius. Janik clipping an inside wall as well. And right now, I think Denmark are looking a little bit out of it on this round. I say that, but Mertz and Solly have managed to find themselves back up into 2-3. It'll be the hunt down for their teammate, trying to find 5th place for Janik, but he's a long way back from place. There are 3 German cars up in the mix on this one as Giuliano and Marius are trying to do it. It'll really come down to, I think, a 1-2, a 1-3 here for Denmark if they want it. They're down in 2-4 at the moment.
Yeah, with Mertz being the one who drops back, who kind of needs to be their front runner. A little bit disappointing right now, but look at that lunge from Solly. We saw this last lap as well. They don't typically keep the momentum on these final turns, and we could be seeing another ace actually from Germany, which would be their second in a row. Unless Mertz can make a pass, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Maybe Solly might get the inside, but it's not enough to crack the top 2. That's going to be another point going in Germany's favor.
Solly went full risk on the end there, but yeah, I mean, look, you managed to get 3rd place. It doesn't really matter when you get 5-6, and we see our first 108 of the round as well. Giuliano has more than cleaned up those mistakes. Is now driving incredibly fast times, and sometimes, yeah, the mistakes are just a symptom that the player is really pushing the rounds. That seems to have been what happened to Giuliano in the early rounds here.
Yeah, and now that they're coming together, they have been a driving force in Germany's success, as once again it is Giuliano out in front solely, kind of playing chase, battling with Lorenzius, who has been consistently getting in those top 3s as well, kind of playing that best wingman for Giuliano so far. Marius, as in a bit of a battle, actually, as we kind of lost Lorenzius. Okay, maybe cast a curse in that situation. We make do. Now Marius is going to be the one who has to play wingman, but with Mertz Jr., getting some of these late bursts of speed, it's going to be difficult. Actually, not as high as we've been seeing in the past. A lot of the cars opting for lower lines this time around that loop-to-loop.
Yeah, staying a little bit low, managing to, well, maybe not keep as much speed as Mertz has been incredibly fast through that section a lot of the time, but right now has carried the pace on through, has managed to get into a 2nd place with Solly just behind Giuliano, appears to be vanishing off into the distance. We'll keep an eye on the time on that one. Marius bounces on out, and all of a sudden the door is left open for Denmark to cruise to a 2-3-4 as Germany lose to water physics.
Oh, that is an unfortunate point to lose, as another 188, so another top 100 time right there, I believe, from Giuliano. Big run as well, but yeah, Lorenzius doesn't finish. Marius loses out to water physics, and all of a sudden Denmark, they once again have that momentum.
Didn't pack the surfboard today. You need to remember your surfboard on map 25, because otherwise the water will throw you whatever direction it feels like sometimes, and that's a little bit unfortunate. We'll be tied back up at 3-3 on the map, as it is now a chase down towards the back half. Who manages to take the edge? Mertz has been fast, has been quick, but Giuliano has been quicker, especially in the last couple of rounds. Janik trailing a little bit right now, has been the player looking to contest those kind of safe lines. Take the 4th, 5th, just make sure that you get a good finish in case someone does crash out, because the crashes have been happening fairly frequently here, Formal.
Yeah, this has been a very tricky map. I mean, we only saw the 108 just 2 rounds ago, and I know people were kind of clamoring for it for a little while. Maybe we get it again from multiple members, because everyone is up front and doing battle with Solly holding on to the lead, but goes a little bit wide and loses a lot of the momentum. That's going to be a bit of a mistake, and that's one that we could see Germany capitalize on. Mertz Jr. still throwing it in the mix. Solly needs to make sure they at least get that top 4 to give that chance. And again, water physics playing spoiler, and now Mertz Jr. is in the lead, should hold on to it, and that's going to be Denmark with a 1-3-4.
Germany lose to water physics again. I can't believe it. They were well on track to get, I mean, that would have again been a 108 from Giuliano. He was in front of the 109.0 that Mertz set, but he bounces out. And that means the map win for Denmark. It's 5-3. And both of those last rounds, Germany lose to water physics. They lose the map to water physics, and Denmark tie things back up in the match again. They're trading maps backwards and forwards, these two teams.
How much of Denmark is surrounded by water?
Quite a lot of it.
Because Germany only has, you know, a little bit of like ocean. Like only a little bit of coastline, and compared to, I think Denmark probably has a bit more. I don't know. Germany needs to spend more time at the beach after that last round. More importantly than that, though, 3-3 right now, best of 9, so it's first to 5. We only have at most 3 maps left before we have our winter champion. And I mean, this back and forth series, it feels like a match of tennis right now. Germany should be serving next. This is must win for them because they cannot afford to give up this back and forth.
It's true, because if Denmark get ahead, well, you know, I mean, that back and forth broken, but unfortunately for Denmark, if they don't break the pattern, you keep losing odd-numbered maps. Well, it's a best of 9. You lose map 9, you lose the tournament. You lose the match in the tournament. Yeah, this is it. This is tournament lives. And it's going to be an interesting one. We're still on plastic formal this time. Not wet plastic, but an interesting bounce at the start. A little bit of a start simulator when you're playing this one in time attack at times. Just trying to get that bounce perfectly, carry the speed, skipping the cruise control block. I imagine all these players are going to go for the cruise control skip. I mean, it's not really that risky, but a lot of this map is maybe going to just come down to who actually manages to carry the bounce off, manages to carry the speed up the hill as well.
I mean, if I go for the cruise control jump, I expect these players to go for it. And I'm also expecting certain players to be the ones standing out. I'm going to be, again, looking at Mertz Jr. on the Denmark side alongside Dunst, who I believe should be getting subbed back in for this one, I would expect. They're going to be the two I'm going to be looking at. Meanwhile, on the side of Germany, again, New Prime, top 15 in the world coming into this one. The rest of the squad, though, sometimes struggles. Giuliano is going to be a key member in this one. If Giuliano can get 3rd, 4ths consistently, with New Prime hopefully getting 1-2s, that's going to be Germany's best bet.
It's going to be exciting, but Denmark, this is a map that they've picked before in this tournament. It's definitely one that they're practice on. So if there is a time for Denmark to break out of this cursed pattern that they're stuck in, where they keep dropping behind to Germany, then equalizing on the next map, I think this map, map 15, is probably the place for Denmark to do it. Less than 5 seconds, we're about to get underway here.
Yeah, we're going to be looking for times as well, cracking underneath that 37 mark. That's how you know you've put an absolute screamer. Top 100, though, is about around, you know, the 37.2, 37.1 range. So that would be big. But I want to see top 50s, all right, production? I hear what you're saying. I want more. I want to get underneath that 37 mark, and I want to see what Giuliano can do because they've got an early lead.
They've gotten a very early one. Mertz, the bounce did not work out at all over the cruise control. That corner didn't work out. You're used to carrying a bit more speed than that, Mertz, and that means you'll turn in a little bit too soon, and it means Germany out to an early 1-2-3 on this map, and from here on the map, it should be them cruising on home. There's one last turn here on the sausage block. That one can definitely go a little bit wrong when you're pushing hard, but it doesn't look like it's gone wrong for now. Dunst, I believe, has caught up, will snipe away the 2nd place, but Giuliano, New Prime, do enough. 1-3, didn't matter where Lars were, but he gets the 4th for good measure.
Also, there's that 37.2 that we were looking at in the first round as well. I'm not sure if that scraped into the top 100. It'd be just outside of it. Good start, though, for Giuliano. That's a good start for this German team. And, oh, that's a very rocky start. I didn't quite catch who it was who came off the track, but someone's already crashed out, and they're a member on the Danish side.
It looks like it's Mertz Jr. again. The start's just not working out for them just yet. This time, Jake Ray is up, is contesting, and Dunst, if they can snipe away the 4th and the 5th, if there's a crash, maybe it's the 2nd and 4th for Denmark right now. Jake Ray really wants to try and catch Giuliano, though. This is going to be important. This is last sausage block turn that a track is going to be made and broken on right now. Giuliano, Jake Ray going around and keeping it clean. A crash from Lars. It's going to be a 1-3, though, still for Germany as New Prime gets across the line. Dunst couldn't quite catch up to that one, and Mertz a long way back after another mistake at the start.
Yeah, 37.3 for Giuliano. Again, a nice, consistent line. That time, Denmark was a little bit closer. You can see they were challenging. They were chasing 1st. They were chasing 3rd, but about a car lengths back in each of those positions because they're not able to finish. And this time, Mertz finally is able to get that good start, but I think it was actually a member of the German side who crashed out this. No, it was still a member of the Danish side. Sorry, all the Germans are there. I'm not sure who it was. It was Jake Ray, who's already a 2nd and a half down.
Jake Ray a little ways back, and there goes Mertz. Oh, that's unfortunate. And Dunst, well, you can chase down Giuliano if you want, but it's for pride at this point. The Germans, I can't see them crashing out from this position. Lars, whoever's at the back, will usually just call like, yeah, I'm safe. Let's just safe. Just make sure that you get across this line. Dunst will snipe away the 1st place because, yeah, the Germans, they were safing it. Literally no reason to risk on the final turn there.
Yeah, 2-3-4, enough for a 3-0 lead. Germany, just keeping it clean right now. And this is so similar to the Germany that we saw in the quarterfinals, that they were okay with giving up a first place, taking more conservative lines. If it meant you get that 2-3-4 or the 2-3-5, you keep getting those consistent points through. Denmark, they're in trouble. We finally get a start, it looks like, with all 6 cars across, though.
It does. It was slow,
wait, no,
though. No,
he
never
didn't.
mind. No, Giuliano's crashed out. No, but Mertz was a lot faster. Dunster was a lot faster. New Prime is still there. Mertz, it went a little bit wrong here last time around. This time keeps it within the bounds off the track. And this is a position where you could maybe be safing a little bit. You have the 2-3-4, maybe a 2-3-5, but you still need to be careful because Lars is within range. And if you give up the first place, Lars is definitely in a place where they could try and snipe away the third. But around the final turn, let's see if that does end up happening. The first place is given over to the Germans, but the 2-3-4 locked in for the Danish.
And Danish finally get a point on the board. And so far, this entire series has all come down to that opening sort of launch right now, that dead engine zone where we've been seeing people crash out and not able to keep a consistent line. I'm a little bit, not that surprised because, again, this is the grand final. This is where you're meant to push, but I want to see one where everyone is able to get across it. You can see right there, everyone avoids the dead engine, keeps their own engines running as they get through that first checkpoint. This is the first time we see all 6 cars racing, and we see 3 neat little battles as well. Up front, Jake Way versus Giuliano. In the middle, it's Dunst versus New Prime, and then Mertz Jr. and Larson. Down goes Dunst, and that's going to be a 2-3-5 at the moment for Germany, and that would be enough to win the map.
Mertz has to get past New Prime, and Jake Ray has to hold on first here into the final corner. Mertz taking it low, trying to catch up to New Prime. New Prime carries the speed, and it looks Jake Ray crashed out anyway. So never mind the fact that Mertz couldn't get the overtake done on New Prime because Jake Ray does crash as well. And unfortunately, there's finally all the cars get across. I'm not sure everyone did fully avoid the cruise control black at the start, but even with all 6 cars in the race, Germany managed to find themselves a match point.
And now, again, it's all about that consistency. Don't make any mistakes. Everyone gets over the cruise control, lock up into that first checkpoint. I only see 5. I think everyone is still there, though. We just didn't quite get all the graphics as we see Mertz still trying to hang on to that lead. They desperately need it. Giuliano, though, has been so strong on this map. Lars as well, looking to crack into that top 3 with Dunst just a car lengths back on that inside line. Might be able to find it, but up front, you can see Giuliano just getting absolutely mugged by the 2 Danish members, Jake Ray and Mertz, trying to take that lead, but it's Giuliano coming out in front.
Dunst
hits the wall. Dunst kind of hits it as well, and that should be enough for Germany to get across.
He carried the speed so well into the air. A mid-air overtake. Germany managed to find the round win, and what a tight finish it was. The crash ends up costing Dunst. Germany will keep this pattern going. They take another win. Denmark are back on the chase.
And once again, it's advantage to Germany, but this time it is also match point to Germany. Map 10 could be our final map, or we might go on to map 13. As it stands, 10 is going to be a fun one for Germany. That's, again, who else? New Prime, so good on this one. Top 12 coming into this with that 30.393 time. Again, it's those 30.5 times that I think are going to be, the absolute crackers. Meanwhile, though, on the other side, of course, for Denmark, Jake Ray, Soligan, they are so strong on this track as well. This one actually might be in favor of Denmark.
Absolutely. We're looking at those mid-30s to maybe win you some rounds here on this one, because 10 is a map early enough in the campaign. You'd expect most of these players to be able to keep it clean enough to get around. The dirt lines, though, they're keeping the gears high. Going to catch a couple of players out. Dunst sets a nice 30.8 here in warm-up, and followed just behind by a teammate as well. This is going to be an exciting one. As you say, this could be our final map of the tournament formula. It's been a long one. It's been a lot of Trackmania for these players. It's tournament point for Germany.
It is, and again, as I was talking about before, top 12 on the side of Germany. Yeah, I mean, Jake Ray, 10th overall with that 30.361, and then Solveig, top 5 overall. So we have our top 12, top 10, and top 5 driver on this track coming into this event, about to throw down. And again, you feel like it's got to be Denmark Troy because they have, 2 of the top 15s compared to the 1 at the top 15 on the other side. We'll see, though, because I feel consistency as much as that word is probably getting overused at this stage, it has been the pitfall of these teams. So we'll see how hard they really push it. We'll see who goes for the safer lines, and we'll see who kind of, accidentally taps that wall, drops that clutch, or drops that gear, I should say, and kind of throw things over. And if you have clutch in this game, I don't know what you've done, but I want the mod to have.
You've really gone deep on the modding at that point, absolutely. Yeah. And with consistency being a factor, some of these dirt turns are the kind of turns where you do want to be riding high, making sure you're getting as close to the wall, keeping the gear, keeping the speed wide around these turns. So there is definitely potential for a few little wall touches, for just letting those back wheels slip away from you a little bit. We could see some rounds decided by mistakes. Whatever happens, we're going to see something decisive happen. Will it be Germany taking the tournament? Will it be Denmark bringing us all the way to map 9? We're out to round 1. Let's get a taste of what's to come.
Yeah, let's see where we're going with this one. At the moment, it's looking pretty good for Giuliano, but that's the only member initially for the German side. Sully going to be the first wall casualty, and they're one of the names we are looking to step up right now. Pressure on Jake, Ray, and Dunce, but they're holding on to that 1-2. Giuliano has to take a tight line. You can see that slide, the momentum. It's there enough to get in front of both of the members. That's P1 for Giuliano, but Jake Ray, late lunge, takes it back. 30.9 the time, but the difference was so tight. Meanwhile, as everyone else comes through, I actually think Germany may have taken that.
I believe it's a 1-3. It's for
a
Denmark.
1-3.
It's a 1-3. Jake Ray and Dunstan managed to hold on to it, and it was the late lunge, but it's the joy of the dirt turn, right? It's still just carrying your speed. At the very end of it, enough speed there for Jake Ray to carry all the way through, take the first place, take the win on the map. Giuliano touches a wall very early on this one, and now it's Germany who will have to be on the full press as Marius and New Prime. They need a 1-3. They're not in position to get it right now. Solly and Jake, they're getting out to an early little bit of a gap on this one, heading towards the back half of the map, across the plastic, up into the next jump. This turn is really the last one where things could go wrong for the Danish squad. Solly and Jake will just keep it clean, though. New Prime alone not going to be enough to contest their dominance at the front. A 1-2-4 gets Denmark a second point on the map.
30.9s again, enough to get the wins on this track. So we're not seeing anyone push the top 100 just yet. Just doing what needs to be done. More conservative lines paying dividends for the Danish side. A 2-0 lead. All right, sorry, wait, didn't Germany win the last one? No, it was Denmark. Yeah, sorry, Denmark. 2-0 lead right now as we kept this one. Jake Ray, that rear left wheel did tap, and that's going to put pressure back on Dunce and Sully, but they're sitting 1-2 right now. Giuliano is going to be the driver trying to break it up, but it's going to need some help as well. New Prime already 2/10 back, and that could be a lethal discrepancy. Giuliano does get the inside line, gets in front of Dunce. Up front, though, Sully will cross the finish line first. It should be a 1-3-6, and that's enough for Denmark to get another point. 30.6. We're getting closer to that top 100.
That's the 75th time for the front of the race there. That's impressive for Denmark. They're driving incredibly fast, and you could see it. Dunce not risking through the last turn, was aware it doesn't matter if he gets third there. It doesn't matter if New Prime overtakes, because the 1-3 is good enough to do it, and the comms are good enough on the Danish squad. We are that. Giuliano again with an early wall touch. That's going to beat Germany once again, trying to hunt down, but when you're still hunting and they're behind, Jake Ray, did that wheel touch? I mean, it looked like it was in the wall. You don't get much closer than that. We'll head towards the back half of the map with still a 1-2 for Denmark. It's a 1-2-3. They'll look to put an ace on it, not to put too fine a point on it, but it will be Denmark heading towards match point here. A very quick match point, Formal.
Yeah, they are. Denmark is just crushing this map right now, and even New Prime, who we were looking to maybe be a bit of a carrying force for the German side, is having a bit of a struggle right now. Giuliano, when they keep it clean, has been the one who's been competitive. Now, though, 1 point away to take us to our 9th map. Going the distance. Can Denmark do it? They've got a very tight line coming off that jump. Giuliano late to that higher line. Doesn't really keep that speed as much as they would like, but this time it's Marius who is running in the front of the pack, and will start to drop back down. Sully holding a nice P1, getting a couple car lengths ahead as we watch Dunce looking to get into that top 2 just in front of Marius. This is looking pretty good. Marius is going to need late lunge, taps the wall, and that's going to do it. Denmark takes map number 8, and we are going to a decider.
We're going to map 9. I cannot believe it. And what an insane time driven as well there. Another 30.6 driven by Solly. Fast times from the Denmark squad. A well-deserved win on map 8 here. Map 8 of the match, I should say. Map 10 overall. We're going to head to map 9 of the match, which is going to be map 13. It's going to be all decided. Germany, they've taken every odd number. The Danes have taken every even number map so far. And if Germany can take the win here as well for them, it will be back-to-back wins for them in TSCC.
Yeah, and you know they want that, but Denmark has really brought that fight to them. Unfortunately for Denmark, if I were to kind of pick based on this map, I don't know if I want to lean on the Germans or not. I mean, again, this is such a strong map for drivers like Dunst, like Jake Ray, even Mertz Jr., again, a strong one for them. I mean, they're all so good at this map, but at the same time, Germany, Giuliano, amazing. New Prime, amazing as well. Like, there are, I'm pretty sure, 5 of the 6 drivers coming into this one have finished, like, top 30 times overall.
They're fast, I think it's fair to say. We're looking at, I think, 38 potentially round winning times here on this map. It's going to be, I think we couldn't ask for a better finale as well, because both of these teams are very close. You know, it's not like, oh, there's a clear standout for one of these teams. Like, this is definitely a map both of them could contest. You know, you've got mixed surfaces as well. There's room for errors here on this map for sure. And it just looks a bit stylish. That start, the ramps up, the full boost, it's going to be exciting whatever happens. And we said Germany would be back-to-back them. Denmark, they could win for the first time, become the 4th winner of TSCC. And that'll be exciting as well. This finish, I'm looking forward to seeing some mid-air overtakes as well, Formal.
Oh, so am I. But again, 38-9 are kind of the times that we're going to be looking for to sort of cracking onto that leaderboard. And I would be shocked if we don't get it, because I want to further emphasize, coming into this event, 5 of the 6 drivers I think we're going to be seeing on this one have top 30 times overall. Like, that's insane. So this is the perfect way to finish it. You're absolutely right. There's no better track to end it on than this one right now. Track lucky number 13, 23 seconds away. Germany looking to go back-to-back. Denmark in that regards looking to play spoiler. Last chance to get a prediction in. Who do you think is taking this one? Because, like, I don't know why, but I think Denmark breaks the chain.
Do you think Denmark? Because I'm going to say Germany. I think Germany just shown that at times they have the consistency when they need it. And also, formally, you can't forget it's an odd-numbered map. Germany, historically in this match, win every single one of those. Well, 2 minutes of warm-up. I don't think it was enough time to get all the adrenaline out of the body, but here we are, round 1. Let's see where these teams end up.
Let's see who winds up getting that critical first point. Right now, everyone grouped together, spread out a little bit on that dirt section before hitting that first sweeper. Clean landings required. Ooh, a little shaky from Giuliano. That's going to give Jake Ray a nice lead. In fact, that's going to give all of Denmark a nice lead. There are 1, 2, 3 for a brief moment, but New Prime's going hard on that inside. Can they keep the momentum? Not quite, but Giuliano absolutely can. Looking to take that lead away from Jake Ray around that last turn, lining up for that big final jump. You see members of Germany are falling back. It could be a 1, 3, 4. All about this landing. New Prime on the outside of the screen. Can they squeak through? Not quite. First point goes to Denmark.
You called it in midair. 1, 3, 4 at the very end. And New Prime, you could see shedding speed on the last turn, was maybe a little bit worried about the amount of speed he was carrying, didn't want to overshoot the finish. But you still have to risk a little bit. When you're in that position, you need to be risking a little bit harder than I think potentially German did at the air. And I called it for them because I said, look, I think they have the consistency. Right now, it's looking like Denmark might just have the pure pace on this map to take it.
They very well might. I mean, it is fractions of a second. Mertz Jr. may have just lost their chance. All the pressure on Dunst and Jake Ray, but they are the two you expect the pressure to be on for that Denmark side. They need that 1-3 finish right now, and you can see Jake Ray with that momentum trying to get ahead of Giuliano. Dunst getting the job done in P1, but goes wide. Jake Ray takes that inside. Right behind him is Giuliano. Mertz Jr. still in the back. Final jump. Can they stick the landing? New Prime is far back. Who crosses first? It's Giuliano, Jake Ray, Marius. That should be a point for Germany.
Well, tied straight back up. It's not the 38s we maybe expected to see winning rounds, but it is a low 39 for Giuliano. And Giuliano has definitely stepped up at times, has been the German player who, when a bit of risk is needed, has just gone for it. It's resulted in some errors in this match. It's resulted in some round wins as well. Germany tied back up. Well, tied to 1-1, and the teams are going to go blow for blow all the way to the end for them. It has to happen at this point.
It absolutely does, and this time Mertz Jr. is actually able to keep pace with everyone else. It's another good-looking start initially for the Denmark side. New Prime, though, looking to break it up right now, currently sitting P2, again going for that tight line. Mertz Jr. holds on to it, keeps that momentum. Oh, no, the crash. Massive turn is off the wall. I believe that was a member of the blue side, so Germany falling back right now. Jake Ray still holding on for that 1-3. Mertz Jr. is going to need a clean finish. Jake Ray's going to have to hold on straight down the middle. New Prime, late lunge, tries to get first place. It does not take it away. 38.921. 1, Mertz Jr. New Prime 2nd, Jake Ray 3rd, Marius 4th, Dunst 5th. That means Denmark gets the point.
Denmark get the point. And Giuliano, that crash could have cost them because, I mean, there was only 2/100ths of a second separating New Prime from first place right there, but not able to squeak out the first place, so the 145 wasn't even an option. And ultimately, it will be Denmark getting another point, and what a point it was. They raced well on that one. Denmark taking a lead. It's been rare for them. Can they finally break it? Can they finally get 2 maps back-to-back? Can any of the teams in the match get 2 maps back-to-back? Germany have lost their chance to. Denmark will look to finally do it here in round 9 of the tournament.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get it. Giuliano right now is looking pretty good, especially with Marius in P3. Jake Ray taking the risk on that line. It's going to have to, because that was a little bump on the wall from the teammate. Dunst as well could be out of it. It's a 1-2 finish at the moment for Germany. Late lunch
Giuliano!
from Dunst. Giuliano hits the wall. A disaster for the German side. And all of a sudden, all these points are up for grab. Marius gets across first. That's Dunst second. Jake Ray third. New Prime fourth. It's all about fifth. That's Mertz Jr. That's a point for the Denmark side.
Oh, no. That's heartbreak. That was the win in the round, available, up for grabs. It was free, and that's a sloppy mistake to make on the last turn. Giuliano had it all done except for crossing the finish line, and unfortunately clips the edge of that up reactor boost, and it does mean Denmark continue to get points on this map. They're looking strong right now in our final round.
They are looking so strong, and as we're getting closer right now, Denmark a chance to put themselves on match point, and you can see Jake Ray and Dunst, they want it. Dunst very wide though, keeps the speed but loses the positions. Giuliano climbing right back up into P2 at the moment, but with Mertz Jr. sitting in third, all they need to do is hold that line, but instead it's a bit of a risky lunge. A lot of momentum was kind of lost. Jake Ray should be able to come across in first. Giuliano again, very wide, but look how calm and collected the Danish are. That's going to be enough for a 1-3, and that's going to be enough for another point in their favor. It is tournament point for Denmark.
And it is a lot to do for Germany. 4 points on the bounce if they want to win this one. I did see Giuliano. He tries to take that wide line so he can go a bit faster to the finish. It got him up into a second place, but second place not good enough. And second place might be what the Germans end up settling for if they can't shake Denmark's hold on this map right now. Marius out to a good start. He's overtaken Mertz, but there come Mertz and Jake Ray. They come flying back through. They take the 1-2. What style it'd be to finish this map in 1-2 right now, but the Germans won't go quietly into the night. Giuliano tight on the inside. He's lost a bit of speed. He's lost a gear to the others as well. Marius overtakes one more time on the inside. It's contested at the front into the final jump.
Oh, it's going to be tight.
Giuliano, he's solo. Dunst crashes. Who's going to finish? Marius across the line. Mertz Jr. Have Denmark done it? It's 2-3. Who's 5? It's Giuliano 5th. Germany are still in it.
Oh my. What fireworks in the sky right there. Germany somehow keep it together, and for Denmark, they had it in their grasp, but it kind of gets away from them now. Can we see the reverse sweep to go back-to-back? That is what is on the line for Germany right now as we kick off yet another lap. Giuliano trying to find that inside on Mertz Jr., who keeps the momentum instead going up high through that next checkpoint. Mertz, Jake Ray, Dunst, they're looking pretty good at the moment. It's 1-2 for Denmark, but here's where Germany gets their momentum. All three members strong. A little bit wide from Giuliano, though. That might cost them. Going into that final turn, into the final jump, Jake Ray, Mertz Jr., they've got the 1-2. If they can keep it straight, they win the tournament. Line it up, boys. Late lunch from New Prime. Not enough. Denmark wins.
GG's. Denmark become the 4th ever winners of the Trackmania Seasonal Country Championship. And they do it in style on map 13, taking it all the way to the limit. They finally managed to go back-to-back in back-to-back rounds in the match. And they do it well. I mean, it had to feel good. Soaring through the air, map 13 was absolutely the map to finish on here, Formal, because there was that delay. They knew they'd done it, and there's still a second and a half to just savor it as you fly through the air towards that finishing line.
Yeah, and they kept things cool, calm, collected. I mean, they had a chance to get the clean sweep, right? It was in their grasp, and then they had that little bit of the unforced error. But to bring it back and get the win at the end, I mean, this is a fantastic victory for Denmark. Hats off to them. For Germany, unfortunately, they can't go back-to-back, so we do have our 4th winner. But what an admirable fight. And, like, I mean, when we get to go all the way into our 9th map, you know it was a good night.
Yeah, we were talking about it all the way at the front of the match, and we were saying, look, 9 maps being picked, unlikely, surely, that we get all the way to see map 13, maybe even get to see map 10. but we got there. Formal, we got there. These teams, I think you can't argue that there was an undeserving winner in this. They did it the entire way through the tournament. Germany, you know, their quarterfinals, their semifinals, we said they were one of the only teams to kind of take wins off their opponent in their opponent's map picks. Germany managed to do that consistently. Couldn't do it in the grand finals against Denmark, and Denmark just hold it together when they needed to come out on top in this tournament.
Yeah, that they do. So hats off to them. Well done. And on that note, I'd have to say, you know, well done pretty much to all involved. Like, not
Absolutely.
just our 2 teams in the finals or even our 4 teams in the semifinals, but for all the teams who participated. Very strong showing across the board. So many of these tracks at top 100 times just being banged out again and again and again. That spirit of competition very much alive. Absolute treat to watch.
Yeah, an absolute joy. And of course, it'll all happen again in future. Make sure you get involved in the Discord. Make sure you get to see when the next one is coming up, because, hey, we'd love to see more participants again in future for the Trackmania Seasonal Country Championship. It's been a lot of fun here to cast this one. A huge thank you again to Zapdos for being on the desk earlier as well. A huge thank you to everyone behind the scenes who makes these things happen, because tournaments don't just organize themselves, would you believe? And thank you very much for Formal for joining me here.
Rave Out as well. Like, putting this stream together, running it, fantastic stuff. Like, big shout outs to them.
Yeah, big shout outs to absolutely everyone involved. Big shout out. Hey, you know what, chat? Give yourself a clap as well. You've been fantastic throughout the event as well. Big support for the teams. You love to see it. Formal, we're going to leave before you say mean things about chat again. Thanks very much again for joining us. And we'll see you all back here in future for another one.